Yeah.
So this guy is very new. Probably he is the newest player that's playing so far that I've seen today. I think he did play in China as well, in Shanghai, same tournament that Rogue won.
Yep.
He didn't have the most success, but I've been hearing now that this guy is meant to be, the best. I'm not sure if he is the #1 anymore or is in China, but I've heard that he's becoming the Chinese player now.
Yes. For a while, it was Ayasono who was the top Chinese player, and we've had him in our tournament. He actually played very successfully in an unusual style. That's the thing about the Chinese players. They don't play the same style as everybody else. And Time is actually living, I believe, in the foreigner team house over there right now.
Oh, really?
So
Interesting.
he's getting that experience that most Chinese players don't get. And I think that's going to be interesting to see what he's able to make out of that. He's a very young, rising star. He's rapidly climbing up the ranks. His recent performances have been great. He did, unfortunately, lose against Innovation in the Super Tournament, but he took a map off him. And taking a map off Innovation in a TBT is pretty damn impressive in and of itself, and he only needs to take one map off.
Ah, cool. I love Drogo.
He's great.
I haven't seen him in ages.
Oh, yes. It's good to see him come back, of course. For a long time, he was part of a cadre of very, very good French players. So around the time when France was probably considered the best foreign, outside of South Korea country when it came to StarCraft. He had some really great guys in there. Stefano, of course, arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think Drogo is... I fell in love with his attitude towards the game, actually, to be honest. I think he's a very, very talented and very intellectual guy, to be honest. The way that he studies and practices and has fantastic work ethic, I think he's great.
Indeed, I would agree with that. His current form, very strong. He just ripped up the Penthouse Party. 2-1 against Laser, 2-0 against Seoul, 2-0 against Denver, 2-1 against Funk. Did really well there. Also performed incredibly well in the recent Psystorm Team League. I think he may have performed all kill there. He tore through Zanster, True, Semper, Jon Snow. He is looking good right now, to say the least. All right, looks like we have all our casters in, so we can start. It's going to be Abyssal Reef as the choice, and we'll be playing this on the NA server to ensure the fairest possible matchup between these two. Of course, there'll be a little bit of latency, but that's just the reality of online pro play. These guys have learned to accept that. But sometimes affects what kind of builds you play, sometimes not. For some reason,
I've seen some crazy things over the years with even Korean players winning against top Europeans on the European server.
Nuts. Yeah, you have to adapt to the fact that, yes, you're going to have to maybe deal with a little bit of latency, so if your strategy involves very precise micro, then maybe just don't do that strategy. Do something that is a little less reliant on it. And for some reason, Petit Drogo taking the name of Stephen Burnell. Okay, I'm not really going to ask on that one. Oh, man. Okay, to the southeast position, the challenger from France in the red trunks playing Protoss, it's Petit Drogo. Versus his opponent to the northwest position, in the blue trunks playing Terran, the Machine, Innovation.
What does Stephen do nowadays? I see him tweeting a lot about political debates.
Yes.
What does he do all day? Does he stream?
He still streams, yeah.
Okay.
He gets a bit more political about stuff sometimes, streams various games. Doesn't stream a lot of StarCraft. I think PUBG, a few other games like that, for the most part.
Yeah, because he was quite big into DayZ, I remember, a while back.
Yeah, totally. Not sure if he still plays League. Maybe he does, but... Still doing well as a streamer, still very successful. It's been a while since I've seen him play StarCraft 2. I think he played in one of our tournaments at one point, actually. ShoutCraft Invitational 3, where he lost 3-0 to... Who was it he lost to? Can't remember. But, yeah, he didn't do that well. I think he played against TLO, maybe, and lost there. But, yeah.
Good old Destiny.
Good old Destiny. All right. Well, what do we see here? Petit Drogo going for the gateway into the Nexus. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And no cheese or any nonsense from Innovation. I think that was a very SOS-specific build, knowing that what SOS does. It's like, SOS has got a proxy me, so I'm going to proxy him back, and I'm going to make sure that his proxy is worse than my proxy, which ended up being a very solid idea, really.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch, actually. It's very unexpected for Innovation, but it was good to see a change of variety of what he can do.
I would say so.
I think one of Drogo's key strengths I hope it's one of his key strengths still, is when I used to commentate him years ago, is his builds were really, really, really refined. As in, he wouldn't make mistakes on exactly how he was doing and his strategy choice. Very smart that way.
Yes, absolutely. And as I said, there was that time when Petit Drogo was considered to be probably one of the absolute best in France. You know, he picked up that 2016 win at Leipzig to 4-1 against Bly.
He was on top of Europe for a while after that.
He was, yeah.
He dropped off quite fast, sadly, but he was on top for a while.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, he got a good amount of WCS circuit points from that. And it's interesting to see the foreign scene sort of reorganize itself. We've got Neeb kind of undisputably at the top at the moment, but we're seeing rising stars like Serral do very, very well. It's interesting to see that. And a couple of these Latin American guys as well. I mean, Kelazer's probably in the best state he's ever been.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes, especially going into BlizzCon. Intrigued to see how people do. A Laser, of course, did incredibly well. He did the best out of all of the foreign players in last year's BlizzCon. Got to the round of 8.
4, right? Or
top 8.
Top 8 was it?
Yeah, no one else got past the round of 16. So that was a very, very impressive set of mostly ZVZ, I think, for him there. All right, Innovation, what you got? Well, in goes his Reaper and gets caught and killed. Nice.
Yep. Does pick up the Scout of the Oracle.
Yep.
Which is always good information to know.
Yep.
But he also saw the double gateway follow-up too. So compared to the other games that we were seeing earlier, it was a lot of Oracle into the third Nexus and then the gateways. But he saw the gateways earlier, so he does know that Drogo is not playing incredibly greedy.
No, he is not. We'll probably see quite a lot of Adepts. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Resonating Glaive come out. You know, with already 3 Adepts on the board. It's a good investment. Works very well early game against Terran. Gives you a lot of extra damage against Marines, which you absolutely want. But it also just makes those units generally more refined all-round units, you know? It's a flat attack speed upgrade, so that's going to help you against everything. There's the Twilight Council coming up, which will give him access to that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much that upgrade does work.
Yeah.
Like when we were watching the games earlier, I was like, wow, yeah. I forgot how good that upgrade is.
So it sounds kind of like a very boring upgrade when you look at it on paper, but in practice, it's an absolute beast of an upgrade. It's very, very effective. Now,
all right, so
what does Innovation do from here? He's playing very, very straight up. He's not messing around here. He's getting quite an early +1.
So he is okay. That's only his 3rd barracks. Yeah, it's pretty standard to be honest. Like very normal. 3 barracks, factory, starport. I mean, that's been a core of Terran for many years. Whereas Drogo's playing kind of an overall balanced style too. Not too greedy, but not too passive. The Nexus is up timely well.
Yeah.
Blink though. That's cool.
That's
Stalker
interesting.
Heavy, huh?
Yeah, I did not expect to see Blink. I thought we'd see Resonating Glaives, but we'll see what he can make do with that. We're also seeing Stasis Wards go down. I absolutely love these. They are so key. You can make incredible things happen with them. And it's a tough choice when you have oracles on the board. Like, do you play Stasis Wards or do you use that Revelation? If you've got 2, you don't necessarily have to make that choice. Innovation is now marching, though. So bear in mind, he's marching at a really nasty timing for Petit Drogo because Petit Drogo was just building 5 gateways, and that Stasis Ward ended up being useless. It looks like we're going to try and see a contain here. A very Gomiho-style contain, and that's going to work very well. He's going to have to back off. This does buy a bit of time for Petit Drogo to get those 5 gates up and to actually do something with them. He'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on, but obviously going down there right now is not an option.
Yeah, losing the Vikings quite sloppy there, but Terran players love this position. Seen it like every game here today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great position to siege up on. It gives you a good swing and pivot to the 3rd. It really bottles up the Protoss. By this point, the Protoss usually hasn't blown up the rocks, so it means that you try and get into, you can't really go in there with Zealots or even Adepts. You're going to get mushed up because you're in a very close position, so tanks just kill you. This is a 3-bunker emplacement. It's essentially unbreakable, I think. Blink might help, but he's got to go from all sides here. In comes the Oracle, immediately explodes, and tries to bring these down. There are no SCVs to repair by the looks of it. So he's trying to break it, but look at how costly it's been, and he doesn't even fully break the position here. Oh, God. Gets out and right back in again as well. That's expensive.
Is crazy good.
It's so good. Yeah, but look at that. In the meantime, with those elevated 8 Marines, he kills 12 workers. So he puts Petit Drogo in a really rough position. The Zealots eventually make their way down. Blink Stalker is able to clean that up, and he's cleaned it, but, I mean, he lost a Nexus and a big army in the process. And what did Innovation do behind it? He built a third.
Yeah, and he's got a huge army on the ramp, too, on his main base.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of Marines still.
Yep. Well, that's a problem. So, economically, the Protoss is now several minutes behind. Tech-wise, you've got to look at what the Protoss has. So, you've got Blink Stalker.
Blink Stalkers, that's it.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that? Like, are you going to... Warp Prism Harass is probably the best thing you could do with that. Do some Stalker Blink run-bys. You've got to do something about that economy, because you're way behind in that regard, and you don't have cool tech that you can really use to stop innovation. And if you just let him, you know, and he knows, Petit Drogo knows that, he has to do something. Preferably one that does not involve dying to that mine! No! Ouch.
Yeah. It's a painful loss. Every single unit's a painful loss.
Yeah.
You either need splash damage or a significant higher amount of adepts to kind of run over a Terran army.
You know, and he's like a minute away from Resonating Glaive, so he can't do anything with it right now. That's it. He's done. GG.
Innovation. Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. Yep. Roasted right now. Absolutely roasted. Well, that wasn't particularly close, I have to say.
No, not really. That position is incredibly strong, though. I noticed that everyone's been going to there today in every matchup, really. I guess apart from Zerg, TVT and TVP.
Yeah.
Very good position. It's that choke, it's that ramp. And then when you cover yourself up with a couple of bunkers, incredibly resourceful. Very
much so. Interesting. All right. Well, we have quite a few foreigners who would like to try their luck here.
All right.
And, you know, it's an opportunity for Innovation, of course, to potentially increase his win streak, but any one of these guys could knock him off. They all have the ability to do that.
What's Innovation at now? 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 wins. Yeah, 4 map wins, $2,000.
Sheesh.
We do have a Korean lurking in the wings. So, it's not as if he's going to get a free ride. Not that any of these foreigners are a free ride. We've got some of the best in the world here, just lurking and waiting. But I'd like to see Innovation play against another Zerg. I really enjoyed seeing him play against Impact. I'd like to see him play against someone else that could pull off that kind of thing. And I know a guy.
Okay.
I know a guy who could probably do that. Yeah. I know
a few guys.
Indeed. I know several guys, as it turns out. Well, since the Penthouse party is kind of wrapped up, that means we have a cadre, in fact, of 3 European Zergs, the best of breed. It is like literally 3 of the best Zerg, I think, in the world on the foreign side of things that are ready to rock and roll here.
All right, lots of teasing.
Yeah. Well, the first one we're going to send is a man that everybody should be very familiar with indeed. Had a huge amount of success, but then, as tends to happen, you know, a bit of a fall off. But we're now seeing him really climb back in with some recent victories and strong finishes. His current form is very good, especially against Terran.
Ooh,
he is Snute.
Okay. Ooh, nice. This is a little personal favorite of mine.
Yep, I love watching Snute play. He is excellent.
Yeah, personal favorite of mine. Who doesn't love Snute?
I don't know many that don't. Like, he's obviously the #1 Norwegian player. And he's actually in Korea right now.
It's been one of the best in Europe for a long time.
Yep. We actually have to switch to the Korean server. I keep forgetting. Snute's actually in Korea right now. So we're going to have a nice lagless match, which is excellent. Very cool. So I'm going to hop on over to the Asian server here.
All right. Snute versus Innovation.
It's going to be a good one.
I feel they've played, they've obviously played online, but I'm pretty sure they've played a few times offline too over the years. I don't think Snute has won a series, but my knowledge definitely is not there anymore.
Well, And now we can check. So currently, Snutes versus Terranform is like his strongest matchup. He's always been very good at that matchup. Right now, he's on a 75% kind of win rate. And let's see who he's beaten recently in terms of Terran. So he's been playing a lot of everyone else but Terran. He had a very recent series against Innovation, which was very close, actually. That was in the Wardy Team League. The Wardy Team League map contest tournament, which he lost 1-2 against Innovation. I'm interested to know, like, when he's beaten him. So I'm going to have a look at his rivalries. He's played, his Innovation is considered a nemesis for him. So basically, there's a 12-map difference between the two.
The thing is the reason why I would, say that there's a bit of a heavy landslide towards Innovation is because they play a very similar style. They're very defensive, very macro-oriented.
Yes.
And that's just Innovation's key strength. That's like what he's famous for. And so when you play against a guy in the exact same way that he wants to play, you got to be better than him in that regard. And there's very few people on the planet who are. And unfortunately, as record states, Snute isn't. So
no. Yeah, it is an awkward situation for Snute, definitely going into it. It is an opportunity for him to, at least with familiarity, I think in a best of one, you've got a really good shot at it. And it's not like his current versus Terranform is bad. It definitely isn't. It's very, very good, actually. But against what caliber of player are we talking about? When it's like, which Terran has he actually beat? And I can tell you that. I can bring that up thanks to the wonderful statistics on Illegalac, assuming that the site doesn't lag out. This is the problem whenever I mention it, a bunch of people go there and then it crashes. So never all that helpful.
It's a great site.
So we can filter it down by his recent wins against Terran, and we can look at who he's been beating. And he had an excellent run in the recent OSC Masters Cup. 3-2 against Alive, 3-1 against Ryung, 3-1 against Semper, 1-1 against Optimus, and 1-1 against Alive. I know, kind of weird format in that tournament. I mean, that's some good stuff right there. That was Snute winning all of those. He, in the Montreal qualifiers, went through Hero Marine, who is easily one of the best Terran in Europe. He 3-0'd Special, who arguably is one of the best foreign Terrans as well, in the Valencia main tournament of DreamHack. And these are all fairly recent things. But against Innovation, it's a tough one for him. It's going to be a hard matchup.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, there's always many things to consider when looking at, one player versus the other, and how both do they play up in terms of style, who's playing well recently, who's got a better form against the current race. Because you see all the time, to be able to win a tournament, you need to be good against all three races at that point. And sometimes you'll see players do really, really well in one specific matchup, but not so good in the others. So there's a ton of factors. Did Snute have Weetabix like Gumiho? If he didn't, then he's going to be in trouble. So we'll see. It's going to be a cool game no matter what. Snoot's a great
it always
player.
is. Yeah, it very much is. So here we go. Snute versus Innovation. Map's going to be Odyssey. And currently we have Innovation with a 4-win streak. And looking at the rest of the players, he definitely has an opportunity here to equal the win streak of Gumiho. But there is a sniper waiting in the wings. Let me just put it that way. Innovation's not going to have... If he was hoping for an easy run, he's not going to get one. These are some of the best foreigners in the world, but I do have one particular Korean player who is a solid match for him. But here we go. Odyssey to the northwest position in the red trunks, playing Zerg, just fresh off the Take TV Penthouse party, Liquid Snute versus his opponent to the southeast position, Terminator himself in the blue trunks playing Terran, Innovation.
Innovation. What a god himself.
Mm-hmm. So slick. But we did see him struggle with Impact's unusual Zerg style today.
Yeah, highly aggressive. All like trying to spread him thin as much as he could.
Yep, I think it worked well. Snute is probably not the kind of player that would play quite in that way. Like you said, he's a more macro-oriented player. But you know, attacking from multiple angles, attacking in multiple places, using tunneling roaches to do that kind of harassment. That is definitely something that Snute does.
Yep.
And it's proven effective. I think that's kind of the key, I think, to dislodging innovation is effective harassment. If he's left untouched, you're not going to beat him. His army composition will be perfect. His positioning will be perfect. You have to force him into a suboptimal battle.
I agree. And hopefully Snute can do that. One of the good ways, obviously, to get an advantage in any matchup when playing Zerg is to have really good creep spread. So I hope we see that from Snute. By going spawn and pool first, he has access to queens earlier, naturally. So hope to see the push out very early and consistently throughout.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see what he can do. And of course, there is an advantage for Snute that he's very, very warmed up. He's played a bunch of matches today. It is late over there, but Snute actually tells me the foreign house is currently running on the late schedule, which a lot of those guys do. When they head over to Korea, they adjust. It's good to be able to do that. A lot of the Korean tournaments are played in the evening, so that's fine. And then if you want to play in those foreign tournaments, the online events, you generally have to be up pretty late to do that. So that's a thing that most foreigners adjust to when they go up over there. And let's be honest, Korean nightlife is pretty good. So
I know, it's all the neon lights that just keep you awake. You walk outside and you just get hit by music and lights.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot to do there. And you can get food delivered at all hours of the night.
Yeah, everything's open all the time, yeah.
It is, it is. All right. Quick swap over here. Looks like we're probably going to see a standard Hellion opening. And the question is, how much mech are we going to get? We got the Tech Lab going down here.
Yeah.
So maybe a Banshee follow-up. That's a real quick 3 hatch right here from Snute. Very, very fast. Oh, now this is different.
Oh, wow.
That's a double starport build. Where's the second starport?
At the back.
Right at the back. Okay, we don't see this very often, so this is...
We don't see any overlords close.
No, this is not going to get spotted at all.
No.
Usually this would be a double Banshee build. There's really
what else could it be? I mean, I don't know what this could be now.
I don't really see what else it could be. Like, you can do Liberators, but, like, you could just react to that. So, like, there's no real reason to build 2 to do that. And you're seeing double Tech Lab going down, so it's absolutely got to be Banshee. Like, there's no way he has the money to do, like, double Raven. The gas is just too much on 2 bases. So it's got to be Banshees. But he's got to build a Viking first, because, of course, he can't let this be scouted.
Yeah, and he was making sure those supply depots were raised when that Zergling was trying to get in. He's not letting it scouted.
He's going to spot that. That's never going to get scouted in a million years. So...
Yep. And as a Zerg player, you always have 2 really easy positions that your overlords are going to be in on either side of the main base and then the natural. It's just they're always there. So I'd expect Innovation to send his Viking to this natural in a minute to look for the other one.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's a Hyperflight Rotor build. Holy shit.
Okay.
Wow. So this, I think Hyperflight Rotors...
Speed, right?
Yeah. Hyperflight Rotors used to require more tech than this. I don't know when they changed that, but it's a Banshee speed build.
Yeah.
That is... wow. Okay. I can't wait to see how well this works. Like, because this is going to be up against 8 queens, multiple spore crawlers. Like, he knows there's a Banshee coming. He doesn't know about the speed. He may think it's Cloak. And, of course, he doesn't know about the double. In fact, it's going to be Cloak as well. That's ludicrous.
Snute knows something's up for a few reasons, right? There's no pressure coming from Hellions or anything at the front. And what is it? Banshees? Hellbats? Like, what is it? Either way, Spore Crawlers and Queens is the key to defense. Yeah,
but with 4 to maybe even 6 cloaked speed Banshees...
Yeah,
that could be too much. Hyperflight Rotors is a very effective movement speed buff, but we don't generally get a lot of it. We don't see it all that much. This is something at Innovation I know has tried before.
Yeah, and it might not just be harass, right? Just straight for queens.
No.
Just straight hunts.
I mean, this is mostly a Sky Terran build. You know, with double armory backing this up, this is going to be upgrades. He's going to commit to this in some way. I mean, we may even see Battle Cruiser later, for God's sake, if he's able to make this work. But yeah, he has been experimenting with this. I know he has. But Can he make it work? Well, what a great opportunity to try it out. He is able to get some good shots off on those queens, push them back.
There's no spore crawl in the main base, by the way.
Oh, man.
Not at all. The Hellbats are distracting him down south.
There are already 6 Banshees. All right. Hyperflight Rotors just kicked in. So he has huge speed. That was perfectly timed. Spore Crawler, that's never going to get built. Half that middle line just got obliterated. And of course, we could see upgrades. He's going vehicle weapons, so he is going to be doing like, this is Sky Mech. So he's not completely committing. He's not going to do like air upgrades or anything. He'll still get the armor, of course, but this is nuts. These are so fast. Stupidly quick. You could be able to micro them for days. Oh my god. All right. This is one hell of a build here. Innovation kicks in the afterburners. It goes for it. 1 Banshee falls, but most of the queens go down as well. And he continues to try and pick at the mineral line. Still 4 speed Banshees. There's 2 more coming behind this. I mean, he could hit 2 bases at once, but the amount of control required would be astronomical. So he's probably not going to do that. And being able to focus that fire down that fast to bring those queens and defenses down is key. So far, so good. He committed a lot to it, but look, he got a 3rd base as well. And Snute's like, what the hell just happened? You know, he's got a bunch of roaches, but he can't fight 8 speed Banshees with roaches. That's not going to work. So where does he go from here? Like, he's got it. He's getting an infestation pit. That's, I mean, that would work, but only if you can catch him. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, this is, there's no way Snute's moving out anytime soon. He just can't. Like,
no.
The Banshees are going to take down everything, which buys Innovation so much time to build up an army that's sizable that he thinks can compete against what Snute has, which he has full visibility on all the time because he's in his face with Banshees.
Yep. You know, it's going to be Hydras and infestation pit. Yeah, that makes sense. The thing is, he's not going to stay on Banshee. You know, he's building mech, and it's mech upgrades, not upgrades for Banshees. So he will transition fully. But right now, he's saying, right, this works, so let's keep using it. But I'm a bit worried about what Snute is going to do. It's like, Snute has got to prepare against mech, not just the Banshees.
Yeah,
so
and
let's see
obviously,
what
like, Hydras take down Banshees and so do Corruptors, but they do not stop Hellbats and Hellions and tanks. And...
A lot of spores up, obviously. You know, you could attack, you could take him down, but he doesn't want to overcommit there. And, you know, this has done exactly what it should have done. Pinned Snute on this side of the map for the last 10 minutes. And even now, with Snute having taken... Snute's up to 90 drones. Which, you know, droning against this is probably the best thing you can do. You can't fight it. So, you know, drone and get into a position where you can.
Love this game from Innovation.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Very different. Didn't expect this from him. Well, I didn't, at least.
I don't think anybody did. You know, I mean, he has tried it before, but it's definitely not common. And he's breaking the meta here, I think. Coming up with some ideas. He's got to spot that hive. So he knows, all right, well, the Vipers could be in play. Let's see if he's going to try and go that. Wow, 6 Vipers and an Ultra Cavern being added in here. So, big commitment here from Snute. I mean, he has the economy to support it. Picking off the Hydra Den. Big pick-off, potentially. Oh, the Transfuser's clutch. Focus it down. Focus it down. There we go. Yeah, and he's out of there.
The scary thing is the army behind the Banshees.
Yeah.
Because the Banshees aren't really being rebuilt anymore. It's just these ones flying around. It's all the tanks and the Hellbats that are behind it that they're going to have +2 attack in a minute. He's going to be able to find a good position while Snoot's chasing around.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And Snoot's army, he's got some roaches. That's fine, but I mean, you have enough Hellions and Hellbats just to surround that, and now he has Cyclone Fire support as well. So, and he doesn't really mind, I think, throwing these Hellions away, but I am worried that if he loses too much at the back, then he could get caught out. That wasn't a brilliant engagement from Innovation, a bit costly, I think. You know, continues to try and snipe tech. I think that's the best thing he can do here. Like, you know, find the Ultra Cavern, find an Evolution Chamber that's upgrading, kill it if you can. And now Snoot trying to start to get aggressive, but Innovation is trying to bottle him in with these big upgrades. Of course, he can provide excellent fire support from the sky. And slowly but surely, Innovation's mech army is pushing in. And if those queens go down, that'll be free reign. Here come the Vipers, though. So many of them and so well charged. All of the tanks pulled out of position. All of the tanks destroyed. Another wave comes in from the back. But that's a lot of damage done to Innovation's army. That was very expensive. That was not a good fight for him.
That was highly impressive from Snute. So I'm obviously stunned by the way that Innovation's playing, but Snute being able to keep up while under pressure and then also to accept and defend that attack, very, very, very well done.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He committed a lot to Vipers, and he was absolutely right to do that. He knew the big threat are those expensive siege tanks at the back. They're not fast to replace, they're expensive. Let's take them out. That's where the main threat is. Let's not worry about the rest of it. And he did it right. And now, of course, these harassment attacks are being shut down, and that puts Snute in a good position where he finally finds a supply lead against Innovation. The Banshees are gone. Sure, they did their job, but, now we're seeing a more standard mech game from Innovation, but the Zerg already has an army, and it's well upgraded, too. It's about to hit 3-3.
Yeah, and Innovation's weaker down the south side with only an orbital command. No units there currently.
Yep.
So, yeah, that very, very well done by Snute. Very impressed.
Yeah,
now he's just got to try and... this is a big map at this stage. The bases are very spread far apart. Like, this is very easy for Snute to maneuver up and down, where Innovation's got to keep track of it.
Yeah, he's got quite a few sensor towers in order to do that, which is something that he wants to pick off. Snute actually does just that. Finds that gold mining base, isn't able to kill it. Innovation now, of course, is preparing for Broodlords, but here's the interesting thing, there's no sign of them. None at all. It'll be great for taking the Vipers out, but that's actually maybe too many Vikings.
Alright. How many Vikings is it exactly? Oh, 12.
12,
wow, okay.
yeah. If there were Corruptors out and Broodlords, he'd need that many. But he's sort of over-prepared too early, because Snute actually has not made the transition to Broodlords yet. And he might not. I mean, if he stays on Hydra Viper with some Ultralisk support, may very well be a decent answer. Here's the thing, this is not a Thor-based army from Innovation. It's very much a tank-based army. So being able to pull that stuff out and kill it, that's the key to actually winning this, and putting those blinding clouds down as well. But here comes the benefit of having a lot of those, but Parasitic Bomb, Innovation splits the best he can, but that was a lot of Parasitic Bombs. To be fair, that was also a lot of energy used as well. And now there are some skirmishes going on all over the map. The little Hellion finds that down in the corner there, and Innovation blows up another base from Snute and backs away. We've got a full-on war on our hands here.
So Impact was unable to keep up with Innovation at this stage of the game, and it felt like Innovation had a really good grasp of how to play late game Terran versus Zerg with the unit composition and the positioning, and also the ability to continue to expand furiously across the map.
Snute made a big mistake engaging there. He was caught by a flank. He went right in there without Viper support into a massively well-deployed tank position, and he lost a lot of units in the process. This is the kind of mistake you can't make against Inno, because we knew he was behind. He's not anymore. He is getting back into the mix. You can't make those sort of mistakes. Snute has got to get a decisive fight.
Is he going to chase Innovation's tanks down?
I think he's going to try, but the thing is, if he goes into that elevated position, I don't think he's going to have a good time. There's the yank and the blinding clouds, but look at how well spread the tanks are. They're not so affected by those blinding clouds. Will there be enough of Snute? There will not. The Hydras melt.
And Innovation took a mining base down in the bottom left by 2 or 3 tanks as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, tank run-bys. Not what you're used to seeing, but it did the job, right? And he's even going to destroy that static defense and do even more damage if he can. The Ultras will take him out.
Yeah, Snute's economy's hurting a little bit.
Yeah,
sure, he's got a lot of minerals and 500 gas in the bank, but his actual income is the thing that's hurting after losing a couple of bases here.
He only has, this was his main mining base. It's gone. This is his other one. And then this is pretty much mined out. So, yeah, he is hurting. He can't afford to lose big, expensive units like that. Replenishing Hydras, at 50 gas a pop is not going to be an option if you keep losing bases. He's okay on minerals for the time being, but that's just one wave of units, and then your bank's gone.
Yeah, I wonder what Snoot's going to try and build towards. I mean, it's Ultralisk and Viper, right? And a few Hydras?
Pretty much. I mean, he's starting to get the melee upgrades that he needs, but he's also getting Flyer Carapace, which indicates to me he's going to start to move towards Broodlord. So, the question is, when?
Yeah.
You know, because he's held that off for a while. Here come the Ultras. They're tanky, but the problem is they don't have the melee upgrade, so they're not really killing those bases all that quickly. But maybe they'll be fast enough. He already takes down one mining base. This one will probably not fall, but it has taken significant damage, so it could be pulled off by a run by later if this isn't repaired.
Yeah, it has to be repaired. That'd be a huge mistake.
Yep. Innovation on creep in a risky position, but with a good lineup of tanks and Thors in the mix. Wants to take out that mining base again. Doesn't want to let Snute establish. That's a lot of Vipers, though. I think that Snute has an opportunity here to destroy that mech army.
Yeah,
Alternatively, bypass him entirely.
Keep his base alive, really.
Yep, he's going in. All right, now he's got a pretty good arc on those Vikings. In comes the parasitic bomb. Innovation doesn't move quickly enough and takes significant damage. The Vipers, however, they got picked off. There's only 3 left on the map.
Innovation's very good, I've noticed, at not getting caught unsieged.
Yeah.
Like, he always has a good idea of when to be upsieged, and also good knowledge of where Snute is at all times.
Yes, yeah. He's done very well there. He's got excellent coverage with sensor towers. His scouting is very active, and he needs to be, you know, because that's when a mech army loses. If it's caught with its pants down, it's gone. But Innovation has not been caught that way so far. 6 Vipers on the field. With Ultras coming in, I don't know if this transition to Broodlord is ever going to happen here, honestly.
Yeah.
I think, you know, maybe too much air superiority to make that happen. These Queens are going to die if they don't back off now. The Ultras are effective line breakers. You know, I think this army can fight what Innovation has, but it's got to fight it well and in the right place.
I think that time's going to be soon. I think I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. There's so many Queens, though. Imagine all the transfuses that'll come down onto these Ultralisks.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Wow.
Oh, ouch. That was messy. Vipe taken out. Gotta get some parasitic bombs, and you're right. Yeah, those Ultras should live for days. Like, what they need is the damage, and those melee upgrades are coming. It's just taking a while. And those will be... Go for it.
I was just saying that the burst damage from these tanks, though, right? Like, a volley is going to just destroy an Ultralist before it can get healed, I'd imagine. It's going to be very, very tight. It
depends on whether or not how the Ultras are sent in. And honestly, you send an Ultra one at a time and absorb a tank volley while your Hydras are able to get into position. That's what I'm more worried about. The Hydras getting decimated. If he can, he wants to use the Ultras to tank that. Oh, excellent Blinding Cloud. Really, really good. Is this the opportunity? He's going for it. Ultras coming in left, right, center. Innovation's army is falling to pieces. Snute finally gets the engagement he needed.
Wow. That was a huge attack from Snute. That was massive.
Yep, you are not kidding. That was exactly what he needed. And now he can push forward and try and take out these sensor towers, take out these mining bases. There's 6 tanks at a time being produced, but look at that. That's the army of Innovation. 3 tanks and 4 Vikings.
Right there.
I think it might have been. That's what he was looking for the entire time. And it looks like he may have finally got it.
Holy. This Planetary Fortress does not die.
No, it does not. No. It's got building armor. Good lord.
Wow.
They all lost so much. Like, it's been such an equal game, actually, in terms of minerals lost. It's like within 1,000 of each other. But I think this is it. That was the fight he needed. He was patient. He waited. He caught him in position. The Blinding Clouds were about as perfect as you could possibly ask for. And now, Snute looks to dethrone the machine, the GSL champion. What a coup. What a confidence boost that would be. But he's not dead yet.
To heal up the Ultralists, to still use him in the next fight.
Yep.
That was such a good fight from Snute.
It was.
All his Vipers died, though, right? Oh, no, there's 3 left.
There's only 3. It's a concern. The Viking count's still very high as well, so... You know, bear in mind, he had about 7, 8 Vipers in that fight, so he was able to Blinding Cloud pretty much everything, and Parasitic Bomb. With only 3 Vipers, he's not going to be able to do that. And Innovation's probably not going to make the same mistake twice and let all of his tanks get blinded like that. He's going to try and split them up a little bit. He's going to have to. There's a quick yank. Actually not an effective one. Now actually bringing some Blue Flame Hellions into the mix is helpful to try and push off those Hydras. And this is a position Snute does not want to attack.
Yeah, if Snute could somehow get to the northeast base... But the problem is Innovation will be wanting to track that, making sure that that doesn't get exposed.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't see how he can sneak in there without being noticed. Like, the sensor tower coverage is very good. Innovation moves to make sure that creep doesn't spread any further. So, 1 fight 1, but not enough yet. We keep saying it. It's true. You can't kill Innovation that easily. Inno's army is back up to full strength. Snute's army is up to full strength. Level 3 ship weapons is coming in as well, so those Vipers will last even less. And the Broodlord transition is never going to happen. This is the tech. Ultra Hydra Viper for the whole game. Oh, not an ideal position. Oh, a big tank volley. Catches some Hydras and the Ultra in the process. Great siege up by Inno. Snute can't afford to make these mistakes. He's got to get the perfect fight.
Innovation's crawled back into the game again, which now requires Snute to basically do the same fight again.
Yeah, he's got to take as good a fight. That mining base is critical, and it's going to go down. And Snute is hunting for mining bases. There aren't any. Like, they're all on the... honestly, there's not much left for mining for Innovation, but it's that it's that northeast base that Snute hasn't touched yet.
Yeah.
That's the key one. If he can somehow kill that, but his armies... You know, this Innovation army is between him and that. And now Innovation decides this is attack time. And that's a problem, because that means Snute has to attack into an entrenched position.
As long as Innovation stays and spreads his tanks out well, he shouldn't fall victim to the same blinding clouds and fight.
No.
That was his weakness in the previous fight. Out in the open, all tanks clumped together. Snute jumped on it. But Innovation's going to be well aware. If he makes that same mistake, he'll lose the game. Especially when there's so little resources left for both of them.
Yeah. His tank spread looking a bit better this time. Innovation taking that center base here. Needs it. You know, he only really has that mining base left, and it's mining out fast since it's massively oversaturated. Snute's looking for things to kill, but there's nothing here. There isn't. He has to realize it's that northeast, and the Innovation continues to swing to defend. Oh, an opportunity. Innovation backs off. Here come the Vipers. Where are the Vikings? A little bit out of position. That's unfortunate. He could have killed a few there. Vikings now in firing positions. Parasitic bomb, well positioned. Vipers continue to survive thanks to clutch transfusers. That's a big clump. That's risky. Innovation realizes that. Immediately unsieges. This is it. This is a absolutely crucial moment.
Whew.
Tense. Really tense stuff. This is the fight. If the person that loses this fight is probably losing the game. Yeah, based on the state of the economies. The map's almost mined out.
Snute's not mining any gas, so he doesn't really have any gas in the bank either. So, circling reinforcements, however, probably not the most effective.
No, I mean, you're running up against planetary fortresses everywhere at this point. Snute bring in his spore crawlers. I like that idea, actually. That will be helpful. Try and deal with some of those Vikings, provide extra targets for the tanks to shoot at that aren't his units. Get some more static.
This is so large.
It is. Yeah, look how well spread that is. That's impenetrable. Yeah, you're not getting ever through that. Yeah.
Is Snute trying to set up, like, what is he doing? He's got all
I think he's going to the northeast. He wants
he's trying
to
get
take
to the mining base. Yeah.
That's the right thing to do. Like, this defensive line, like,
yeah,
Snute should not try and break it. He should force Innovation to move. And Innovation is having to do that. Problem is the Hydras can't kill that planetary fortress.
Did kill off quite a few SCVs. That was nice.
Well, by dislodging it, he's able to break some of this line and kill a couple of tanks.
Yeah.
So he's disrupted the defensive line. Uh-oh, incoming flank. Needs to watch out for that. Saves it in the nick of time with the transfuse. Tanks are starting to deploy. Tank count, currently 18. Oh my god. It's on the edge of a knife. The Viking count is starting to get really low here. You notice that. He's down to 6. Viper count just went down to 4. Oh my god. This base is about mined out. This is the Mist middle base. Is now the only one. And there's also a base that the Zerg can mine at the top. But right now the fight is for the main by the looks of it. Attempting to flank him. He's Innovation trying to bottle in Snute. Snute finds a way out. It's all about
positioning now, all about movement and positioning. There's, you know, very little strategic depth to this now. It's just all about best movement.
Yep. Are you in the best spot to take the best fight? Because whoever is the one that will win this. These armies are very evenly matched. They're fully upgraded. You don't really go... There's nowhere else to go.
Yep. This is why there's no big fight, because both of them know if you engage just blindly into one and each other, the defender will win. So it's all about finding the weakness, finding an error, an unsieged line of tanks, a clumped up line of tanks, or anything like that.
This harassment could be being done better if Innovation actually controlled it. That's a mineral line that's very vulnerable, but looks like he will be able to defend that now. Man, you wonder how different this would be if there were Broodlords in the mix. You know, you could siege in space with Broodlords very easily. He actually takes the gas mining out. That's going to be crucial. Make it much harder to reinforce. This mining base under attack, that will fall, no doubt. Uh-oh. Snoot's setting up. Snoot takes a lot of fire. Needs to be careful. Can't afford this.
Snoot needs to smartly think of a way to get Innovation unsieged. Like, it's very, very difficult. Maybe it's a trick, a ruse, or something or maybe just simple army movement around that pulls the army out of position, and then he comes in with a large chunk of the Zerg. But either way, you just got to find that opening. But there's so many tanks.
Doing it without Broodlords as well is tricky. Broodlords are the thing that gets you to move, but he never made the transition, despite even getting the air armor upgrade. And doing it now would be very costly. He doesn't really have the money for it. Uh-oh, don't want to get that caught out. He's going to lose some units here. Does get some Vikings on the way out. That's not too bad. This is an opportunity. Is this bait? Well, was the army? The rest of the army's too out of position for it to be bait. He's trying to find a way around. I think he's going to try and hit the bases. He's found a way through, simply because Innovation is moving on this southwest mining base.
All right, Innovation. Lots of narrow choke points here, so this is actually a very good position for Innovation down here. But that does leave him very exposed against the complete east of the map. So no more mining will take place for Innovation, but he is moving south instead. Yeah,
he's going to make sure that the Zerg doesn't get to mine either. There is that Zerg functional mining base. Just a couple of Hellions could have cleaned that up, and he missed an opportunity to do that there. But look at him. He's sort of potentially bottled in here. We see the force of the Zerg moving down, trying to close the trap on Innovation's army. Catch it unawares. This mining base here for Innovation. This is what he wants to defend.
Yeah. As well as Snute would be clumped up, and then that's good for Innovation. Likewise, Blinding Clouds are very effective in these areas as well.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to see a bit more of this creep cleaned up as well, you know? He gets to see so much of the map, and he gets so much maneuverability to flank and get places just a few seconds earlier. It's helping him out a lot. Now he's found a way around. I mean, he could hit the production line from here. Not that that really matters much right now, but maybe that's the thing that forces Innovation to come back. He's just poking at it. He's trying to bait him out. There's the scan. He knows where he is. Innovation now moving out of position. Is this it? Zerg has the high ground, but he's backing away.
Snute can't really, well, I don't think he has much say in it, but you can't really allow Innovation to mine from the space in the middle.
No, I don't think you can, but Snute
doesn't have much say.
How is he going to break it, you know? He's looking at it and thinking, what can I do? Well, if he had Broodlords, there would be a thing to do. He's actually going Flyer Carapace level 3. So makes me think maybe, just maybe, he tries. But I mean, you know, he doesn't have a lot of gas. Does quick pick up and takes out yet more tanks picked off. That's nice. You know, those are not easily replaced. Innovation's gas count is very low. Just picking at him here and there, doing what he can. But when will the big fight happen? It will. It has to. But this is, you know, this is the army nobody wants to attack into. Ever. But he's going to have to. That's the only way he's going to win the game. And here's a big siege position. Yeah, it is. If he
you might just get irritated and just say, fuck it, let's just go. And then it's over.
Yeah, then you lose.
It's over.
To be fair, this position from Innovation is highly exploitable. You could easily Blinding Cloud that whole thing. They're very clumped up, but Snute doesn't know that. These bases up here are obviously irrelevant. The nice little Hellion run by Innovation. Like, cleans out the whole mineral line, really. You know, which I'd kind of wanted to see him do before. I'm actually surprised to see, like, no Zergling run-bys. Using Ultralisks for this? Zergling run-bys would clear this mineral line out quite quickly. Of course, Innovation will move to defend it. You know, that's his only mining base. You can't really leave it alone. He does have this one down here, but it's starting to mine out.
Well, that's the thing that Snute has to his advantage is every damage that he deals must get replenished via money and resources, because whether it's repairing or building new units, but every damage that Snute takes is just energy that doesn't cost anything, because whether he goes in with an Ultralist, heals up, comes out, or the spells he's using.
Yeah, he's using Vitamins and Queens, and oh, here we go. He thinks he's caught him out of position. Where's the Blinding Cloud? Where's the Blinding Cloud? Doesn't have it, but it might be enough anyway. He caught... Innovation's whole army wasn't there. He was able to pick it off. Oh, no. Is this it? Did he manage to make it happen? He has another line of siege tanks. Snute takes heavy damage trying to engage into that. So he takes a wing of the army off, but not all of it.
That was well done. The Ultras at the front, the Queens used a lot of their energy there to keep those guys alive.
Oh, and Innovation's tanks are split up. His army is split up suboptimally, and now Snute can take some production.
He might have cracked him here.
I think he might have. That might have been it. Okay, he didn't kill the whole army, but he killed a lot of it, and he didn't take too much damage. If he'd overcommit to try and kill the whole thing, that would have probably sucked, but I'm looking at Innovation's bank now, and I'm seeing you cannot get that army back. You can't afford it.
One tank at a time.
Yeah, pretty much. And like you said, the Queens mean that the Zerg is not dying. It's replenishing everything with energy. Those line-breaking Ultralisks are never going to die. Here's the defensive line from Innovation.
Oh, yeah.
It's well spread out.
But this base on the left now is exposed. Snute technically doesn't need a fight into this, because Innovation's pulled all of the defense
he can actually just hit it.
Base.
Yeah, I don't know if he realizes. He should. He's got creep almost up there. Like I say, even a Zergling run-by would got that. But, yeah, he's so fixated on this army. And Innovation, of course, needs to think about killing bases as well. Snute has this mining base that's been left alone. And Innovation just, he's been moving his army around a lot, but he hasn't got a lot done with it. That's the problem. And now he's going to try and siege this base up. But look at this, a massive line of Zerg looking to get... Is this flankable? Is it really flankable? I guess we're going to find out. Here we go. The Ultralisks at the front. Where are the Blinding Clouds? There they are. And the Hydra Concave comes in. Lots of tank fire, but a lot of Queens as well. Currently, though, the tank line is holding. Will it hold? Will it hold? More Hydras fall down, and finally, the Terran nut has been cracked. Significant losses, though, to the Zerg player to actually make it happen, but how do you replenish this? You probably don't. Doesn't have any money. And now we're on a massively low economy game. But wait a minute. Let's look at the situation. 40 workers versus 22. Is there a mining base for the Terran? Yes. Is there a mining base for the Zerg? It's mining out.
Yeah.
I think, actually, that the Terran is in a good position here. I think that Snute used too much of his army to wipe that out. And by ignoring, you were talking about hitting this mining base. Innovation's mined all of it. All of it. Yeah. I mean, there's a 3-gas mining base. He could even mine more gas from it.
There's a lot of Queens left, though. That is a ton of transfuses. He has very minimal attacking units now, but if he can keep them alive...
But it's low damage.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder, that the Zerg army right now is 4 Ultras and 20 Queens, basically.
Yeah.
Which is you can do that, but if you have enough burst damage, you can kill those Ultras. This base got wholly mined out. He needs to mine that 3rd gas. I wasn't even aware there was a 3rd gas there. I don't think he even realizes it. He's mined out these 2 bases, and Snute has ignored them up to this point. That's allowed his economy to get rolling again. And that puts Innovation in a better economic position than the Zerg player. And while the Zerg army is still bigger, most of it is in Queens, which are not high DPS units. So, I told you have to kill Innovation completely. Innovation's he's got no arms now, he's got 1 leg, half a head, but that's still enough to fight.
Yeah, this is obviously the best game of the day so far.
It's insane.
Crazy match.
I mean, unless you hate really, really slow games, which obviously this game has definitely been a slow positional game, but I genuinely think that this is a pretty good position for the Terran to be in.
Yeah.
Mining-wise.
There's still so many tanks. He's mining off 2 bases, technically, still.
He's building nothing but tanks, which probably is the right call.
Yeah.
I don't see what else you could do. There's some Hydras now in the mix for Snute. There's not much in this
base. Trying to build
base.
as many Hydras as he can to get that extra damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could hit that base, but there's nothing there. You know, it's gas mining, yes, and that is valuable, of course, but, you know, the minerals are long gone from there. And we're pretty much mined out, for the most part. There's almost no minerals left on this map.
Yeah,
it's very rare we see that. Does Snute go for production now? Because that seems like the way to go, really. Like,
I feel like you get trapped in there, though, right?
Yes.
Like, if you went to kill the production, there'd just be a siege tank line waiting for him to come out.
Probably, yes. Well, the rest of Snoot's economy just went up in smoke. That mining base just got gutted by a Hellion run by. You know, that's affordable. Innovation could afford to do that. He can't really afford to do any more of it. He's built 3 more tanks now. But you might be right. You know what would be great? These queens are left out of position. If you can just realize that and kill the queens.
Yeah, then it is over.
Yeah, that would actually do it. So, Innovation's army remains smaller, but again, bear in mind how much of that supply is in queens. They're all great at queens, but they're still queens, and they're not optimal fighting units. Well, there's still some minerals to be had here, so Innovation's going to move out and take it once the creep recedes. But
there's quite a few tanks, like, there's 24 tanks. That is a lot.
I mean, that's the whole army, it's tanks, the whole lot. There's only 2 Vipers, that's not really enough to get much done, and properly spread out, that won't matter. And so Snoot's now going to go for production. And the issue is, obviously, there's these tanks spread out here. I mean, he's not going to get in there very easily. My concern is because the Vipers are going to be able to do whatever they want, because there's only 2 Vikings.
Yeah,
but
he can keep pulling units over and over and over.
What does Innovation do from here? Like, does he go to try and kill what's left of the Zerg bases? I think he's just feeling like he's got to catch these guys out. Problem is, he's getting these tanks pulled out, and these are very difficult to replace.
Yep.
So he has to bring his whole tank army together, and right now it is split, because half of it's trapped in the base, and Snute is between him and his army.
Yeah, it's split 3 ways. There's some in the base, there's some defending the economy line to the left, and then there's some moving around unsieged.
It's bonkers, no doubt. Crazy game. Well, armory's going to get killed, production's going to get killed. I mean, there's more production than he could ever afford to use, so right now the production serves as a sim city to protect the tanks. So that will be handy, but does he have enough Vikings? He's got 7 Vikings now. He could focus fire the Vipers down, and he needs to as well. Because he can't get this stuff pulled out. And he realizes that. Now we've got Innovation's brought some tanks back, but I don't know. This is a really hard call to make. Again, it comes down to one big last fight.
Yeah, using the Vipers is key. Just because they're only using energy to pull these tanks away. Or
and he brought the Spore Crawlers, and I think he's then transfusing the Spore Crawlers.
Yeah.
And then recharging the Vipers with them. So these tanks will, like, he's going to get them all pulled away, and there's enough Hydras on the ground to make the Vikings not that effective here. It's almost like you need a couple of battle cruisers just to Yamato the things, but then you get those pulled in, and that's a base worth of minerals. You don't want to waste that necessarily.
What a crazy game.
40 minutes in. You don't...
Yeah.
I can't remember the last Legacy of the Void game I saw that ran that long. Alright, he's got an opportunity to finally get his army together. And he's got to, I think. This is sort of a last stand of Innovation here. Can he win the fight? Yes. If he engages in the right place, he can. But he has to make sure he does.
Alright, so the 2 forces are joined together now, finally.
Yep. He has everything... Everything he can afford, basically, is here. He's actually rebuilding an armory. Do you lose both his armories? I guess he did. Yeah, that's everything he's got. This is it. The base is... The map is essentially mined out. It now comes down to which army wins the engagement. You know, he's bringing his SCVs. It's the right call. 2 tanks pulled in again. These are not replaceable now.
Yeah, that's really good. To try and take Just a few here and there.
Yep. If he keeps doing that, then of course Innovation loses. There's another Viper being added in. He knows how key this is. I think Inno actually has to force the fight. Because if he plays passively like this, he's gonna get picked
off,
yeah. He's gonna get picked to pieces by the Vipers. This base is under attack, obviously it's mined out, but there's still gas here, so it is a valuable base. I think Innovation pulls his SCVs and attacks. Like, just goes after every hatchery. This is still a mining base for Snute. That actually needs to die. He also needs to watch out. He just ran into a bunch of spore crawlers and lost some Vikings. Can't afford to lose those. And this is it. You know, this is the roving army of Inno. He's not mining anymore. He has all his SCVs with him for repairs, which will help. He has to kill the remaining hatcheries and force a fight. He can't be passive anymore. And here we go. That's going to be another hatchery taken out. Yeah, that is a way to win the game. Kill all the buildings. If your opponent won't fight you, then fight his buildings instead. The armies are slowly getting closer. Command center gets shot down. There's plenty more spare ones where they came from. Although most of them are planetaries at this point, so you're not going to get much out of those. But Innovation preparing. Uh-oh, here we go. Innovation trying to prepare a siege line. You can see the Zerg army getting perilously close. Another hatchery taken out. Now Snoot's like, oh, I see what you're doing. I have to stop you. And he's right, he does. But isn't now the opportunity for Inno? I'd say so. Wait, that army's split up. That army is split up. It's looking for a flank, but if he takes half the army at once, he will win.
Gosh. Any second could be the fight.
It could, yeah.
It really could be.
Literally, it's like, when will the fight be? We don't know. Whenever they decide. But whenever it does happen, that's when the game ends. Simple as that. As to who will win it, I mean, right now, we're seeing an army that's double the size here for the Zerg. But it's a lot of tanks.
Yeah.
Those tanks can win a fight like that. Assuming they don't get blinding clouded to death, they can win.
Yeah, well, it's funny, because the last big fight they had, it looked like Snute was overwhelming, but there was just... The tanks at the back just deal so much damage as soon as the blinding clouds get turned off.
Yep, they do. And if he's well spread out, they won't all get blinding clouded, of course. Alright. Siege line's being spread out. Oh, yanks one in. I'd say he's going to keep doing that if...
Yeah.
He has to create this fight. He has to create this opportunity for himself.
Down to 19 tanks.
Yep.
And
he's long distance mining. Which he can do, you know. A little bit extra money. Build another tank. He's got the money for another tank. That would be great. Or maybe some more Vikings. They're both decent options right now. Right now, he wishes that a nuke.
Because of the creep. He knows exactly where the tanks are. Knows how to attack into it. Or whether he should or not.
Yep. I'm actually surprised Innovation isn't scanning. Although, actually, with deployed tanks, he'd end up hitting his own units. Yeah, I like that. Alright. There's the setup. Snute is looking for the big surround.
Oh, boy.
If he engages in one place, he will get crushed by tank fire. He has to engage across a large surface area. Planetary to the left of them, planetary to the right of them. Volleyed and thundered. Snute looks in. Can he pick off a tank? Here, uh-oh, late deployment. A little bit of a late deployment right there. The back line of tanks is doing okay, but this is it. This is it. Are there enough tanks to make this happen? The Zerg army looks like it has collapsed. The remainder of the Terran forces, it's it. Snute finally did it. 45 minutes. GG. Snute wins a very long and very silly game.
That was awesome. What a game.
Holy hell. I hope you like long games, because, yeah, that extended the length of this series quite significantly. Huh.
Yeah,
King is dead.
Fantastic. That was so good. It was such a really small tactical, well, not small, but a large-scale tactical movement battle there at the end. And I love the efficiency that Snute was really making out of his queens and vipers.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we did say Snute is not an aggressive player. Not, you know, when you're playing a non-aggressive player versus mech, you do get long games.
Yeah.
But the patience is needed. Innovation would have won otherwise. You know, he came back several times in that game due to some impetuous attacks. I have to wonder, where that game would have gone if Broodlords ever came into the mix. Was there anything that Innovation could have done differently? Maybe transition back to Banshee to perhaps pick off hatcheries with it. That could have worked, maybe.
Yeah.
There's
could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially with loads of resources at that point.
No Liberators. Like, Liberators with range, for instance. Like, that entire time, we didn't see that used.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, it was very much like he was in that build and he wasn't changing for, like, 30 minutes. So... Oh. Well, that was a lengthy one. No doubt about that.
That was. And now Snoot's back on top here.
He is.
He is the current reigning king.
Yep, and against Innovation, no less, in a macro game.
Yeah.
That's impressive in and of itself, I think, honestly. Well, no rest for the wicked. I'll be heading over to the American server.
Ooh.
And we will be finding the next opponent here for Snute. We saw him play a phenomenal ZVT. But you know what we haven't seen today? We've seen no Zerg versus Zerg. And that's become quite an interesting matchup as of late.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I remember you used to cast with me, and you used to see me roll my eyes every time a ZVZ came our way.
Oh, you're not the only one. Still to this day, everyone does.
I think so. I think all the mirrors got more interesting. I think ZVZ is probably still the worst one out of the three. You know, PvP is really cool. There's a lot of really awesome stuff that happens there. But ZVZ, there's more options. And we've seen some excellent Zerg versus Zerg in this series, actually. So, hopefully, we will see a good one here as well.
Who could it be, though? Who's he playing against?
Well, there are some excellent players that we, of course, managed to find. Some of the best ZVZers, in fact, in the world as well, can be found in Europe. As always, European Zerg scene has always been very, very strong.
I see.
So I think we should be able to find someone, and I have somebody right here. So let's do the unveiling. One of the players for the Take TV Penthouse party.
Okay.
And I was talking about rising stars. This guy is an excellent example of that. You know, coming out of pretty much nowhere to do some excellent play in WCS Yon Shopping. It's Serral.
Ah.
Yes.
Little Finnish guy.
Indeed. Dominated the Finnish scene for a long time. Did a great job there. And, of course, finished second at WCS Yon Shopping against Neeb, 3-4.
Gave a good fight to one of the best, eh?
Yes, he did. Yes, he absolutely did. Serral is excellent in many, many matchups indeed. He is easily one of the best prospects, I think, that we currently have. And Finland has quite the history of interesting players, including, of course, the legendary Elfie.
Yeah.
Oh, we're actually on Korea. Whoops. Apparently Serral's in Korea. I had no idea he was in Korea. Half of the foreigners are in Korea.
Oh, okay. We switch over, right?
Yep, we're gonna switch back to Korea.
Okay. Yeah, Serral, blinking it. What a superstar, that young guy.
Yeah.
He actually kind of had a stint on, well, not at the top, but near the top of the scene a couple of years ago, to be honest. I remember he broke out in WCS a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Let's have a quick look.
He was
like
a lot of these qualifiers, you know, did really well in the qualifiers. He did, of course, Assembly Winter and Valhalla Battle of Scandinavia. This is where I think he started to get a reputation as a bit of a ZVZ specialist, because, of course, you know, he went 4-1 against Snute, which, of course, is the opponent here.
Yeah, I look forward to this then. I mean, Serral's a great player.
Yep. Currently, he's doing very well against Protoss, but he played So here's something crazy. You want to know about ZVZ? He played, I think, a best of 15 against Sue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. If Illegal Lack is correct in the Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament Playoff Finals, that seems really a weird number, but that's what Illegal Lack says, so I'm going to believe it. Sue beat him 8 games to 7.
Oh, wow. Incredibly
That's
close.
very close against a player like Sue. Snute has lost to him quite frequently, as it turns out. But there's a little weird hierarchy, I think, when it comes to ZVZers, and you've got, like, Serral, Snute, and you've got a laser in there. And a laser is like the rock to Serral's scissors at the moment. So he's doing very well. A laser might show up later, who knows?
Serral is really solid. Like, just a beast, like a mini Snute. Sometimes scary, as some people say.
I would think so. All right, we are about ready to go. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the previous game, so send on a tweet over to #ShoutCraft. That is #ShoutCraft. We'll show some of the best ones during the game here. Assuming it lasts long enough, it's going to be on Mech Depot. We're going to have our first ZVZ of the day. Serral taking on Snute, who defeated Innovation in a phenomenal, if very, very long game. That's a difficult game to cast, because, like, will he, won't he, for about 40 minutes.
Will he, won't he, for 40 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is he going to attack?
That describes that map really well.
No, he won't. Dear Lord. What a crazy, crazy game. Well, I can't imagine this one's going to go on that long. Let's find out. Here we are. The current reigning king of the hill, and well-deserved at that. To the southwest position in the red trunks playing Zerg, it's Snute. Versus his opponent to the northeast position in the blue trunks, also playing Zerg, it's Serral.
Snute today comes in with the player with the lowest dollar per minute.
True enough.
Of winning players, I suppose, of all winning players.
Yep, indeed. He worked for that one.
He did.
Almost worked an hour for that $500. Still a good rate, but compared to what Gumiho did earlier, who's like, $2,000 an hour, please, you know, it's a little different. He worked for that money, and now, of course, he's going to have to work against somebody who's had his number quite a lot recently, so this is going to be a tough game for him. But, of course, you've got to bear in mind that those are only results on tournaments. These guys run into each other on the ladder. Not only do that, but they practice with each other. They're currently sitting in the same room in the team house in Korea. We will see how this goes. Perhaps a little bit of Scandinavian rivalry between the Finn and the Norwegian.
I suppose they're all training for BlizzCon, right? I mean, I don't know if there's any big tournaments left this year now, unless I'm mistaken.
Not really. The last big one is a super tournament. We'd have to see. I don't know if either of these guys made it to BlizzCon, actually. I'll have to check. Look at the grand finals. In the meantime, of course, people had a lot to say about that matchup, unsurprisingly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, quite a bit. Currently, Serral's WCS circuit rank is number 3, so he absolutely will be making it to BlizzCon. Snute, 2 as well, number 4. So yeah, they are that's what they're there for. They're prepping for BlizzCon. Currently, the lineup, according to Liquipedia, for the standings is Neeb, Laser, Serral, Snute, Nurtio, Kellezer, True, who is actually on the foreigner circuit because he got a visa to move out, and Special.
Solid guys.
Yep. We're all pretty much in the same team house right now, training for BlizzCon, so impressive. Extremely impressive stuff from these guys. And this is where we see, will that training pay off? Will it let them actually break through the Korean BlizzCon barrier? Or will it be a big round of 16 of Koreans? We saw some good stuff last year from some of them. Neeb and a Laser in particular impressed.
Yeah, this is the big year, right?
It is.
People are expecting a lot, so...
Yeah, biggest prize pool of all time for WCS. There's a huge amount of money on the line. And, of course, big expectations. Has the system benefited the foreign players enough to allow them to compete? Because if recent tournaments like GSL versus the World are to be believed, the answer is no. No, correct, it is not. Yeah. That's the reality of it. Foreigners are not winning best of 5s and best of 7s against South Korean players. And they're going to have to be doing those things at BlizzCon. Will be a challenge indeed. Now, let's see what's up here. So, relatively similar. Snute did go for an opening Baneling nest. Serral has one as well, but has chosen not to build any banelings. Now, there they are. So, pretty much identical. Kind of got to build those safety banelings. Can't really afford not to have them. If your opponent has them and you don't, well, you can just lose. But of course, this is where the micro battle is. And, oh, what a micro battle it was. But that was a nice detonation there to pick it off. Trying to snipe it and working a little bit on that third hatch. In come the other banelings. And really, Snute knows he's going to lose lings to these banelings. What he wants to do is lose them in the most efficient way possible. Serral with the cleanup there. There's the cancellations. Another baneling goes off, hitting pretty much nothing. But a baneling did get into the base. Can it do anything? Well, that's going to be picked off as well. Great focus fire here by Serral.
Yeah, pretty equal there. Nice. I mean, no workers killed at all.
Nope.
Snute.
Yep. Snute did lose quite a few banelings, though. So that was a bit costly for him. Early gas that you can't necessarily afford to lose in a mirror match like that. In comes counterattack.
You can see that the +1 attack upgrade advantage for Serral.
Yep.
Earlier evolution chamber and upgrade usage.
Nice little pick off there. Serral backing off, of course, realizing he can't take that third base, but he wants to keep his opponent honest, make sure he doesn't do anything crazy. And of course, +1 means we will be engaging in Roach Ravager for a while, which is very, very common. The addition of the Ravager in Legacy of the Void really made these Roach battles a lot more interesting, because God knows watching 40 Roaches bash against 40 other Roaches was not exactly what I wanted to see.
But it was all about optimizing the drone saturation.
Indeed. Yes. That was very interesting to cast, and I was really glad to be there. Oh, dear. I don't think people want to see that. They want to see death, destruction, carnage. We'll provide that. Although, if Snute has anything to go by, he's going to make you wait for it. There's a big tease like that. Snute with the scouting ling. Sees what's up. Sees lair. Big, big fast lair for Serral. Good 30 seconds ahead of his opponent.
Yeah. Roach speed, too.
Yep. That's where he wants to go.
Advantage.
Now the question is, do any of these players decide, oh, you're going Roaches? Let's think about a Spire. Because look at this. I'm seeing 6 gas on both sides here. So they're more than capable of going for that. It's a quick cleanup there. Serral actually picks off a couple of workers for not too many lings. Nice little trade-off here. Both nice and aggressive on the harassment point. I like that. Keeping each other honest.
Yep. Keeping each other honest, scouting, checking, making sure that they're still building the correct amount of drones in case they've switched to army production already, which neither of them have done until just this last round.
Yep.
Where we're starting to see the Roaches come in. But look at that, 67 drones to 68, or 66 to 68. Either way, pretty identical.
Absolutely. And this is where things start to get very interesting. You're going to see a lot of Roaches produced, but what's interesting is that Snute is adding an infestation pit really early. Now, we are seeing Infestor start to get a bit more popularity again. And of course, in the Roach matchup, the Infestor has always been a useful addition. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's no other way to put it. If you get Infestors out, you have a better army.
Yes, you do, you know? Especially since Roaches have a tendency to clump up due to their short range. So you can get a nice big fungal. That's going to make sure that you can micro away from the Roaches and also just do a lot of damage over time. You know, fungal doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but if you line it on a lot of units, that's a good amount. And in a fight between 2 equal units, that's a big, big difference.
Absolutely. So Serral will need to be mindful of that when he eventually finds out about it, making sure he's spread correctly, not fighting on ramps, so he's not maximizing the value that Snute will try to gain.
I would certainly agree with that. Get your tweets in, folks, about the previous matchup and who you hope to win here. I think a lot of people probably backing Snute after that incredible win. Certainly don't blame them for that. Snute has always been a fan favorite, but I think you just saw why. It's not just because he's part of Team Liquid or anything like that. It's not because he has a nice jersey or really fancy hair. No. No, indeed not. And here we go. The aggressor will be Serral with a force of Roach and Ravager. Snute, on the other hand, has foregone some Roaches in favor of Infestors. Which will make this an interesting match.
More units and better upgrades compared to Snute, who's trying to get these Infestors to really make it worth it for him.
Yep, he still has 25 seconds left on that upgrade, so he wants to be careful not to engage probably before +2 kicks in. He might be a little worried that his opponent is also going that, but he is a little behind there. So he has a timing window here. If he hits within the next 15 seconds, that he'll be able to exploit. But those Infestors, the question is, what does Serral know? Does he know about the infestation pit? He certainly hasn't scouted it. I don't think he saw the Infestors. Ooh, and Burrow is being added as well, so that'll be a nice addition there for Snute to be able to keep those under. Now he knows. Serral spots it very clearly with the Overseer.
Yep,
so
just gotta be
Serral,
smart.
yeah, he's going to be a lot more careful with his engagement now. He can't just run right into that. +2 about to finish. So Serral's got to go now if he wants to take any advantage of that.
It's 4 base versus 3 in favor of Serral. This is a nice advantage by picking off Snute's 4th there, where he had the unit advantage.
Yep, he'll also have a Carapace edge as well. So, and that's a lovely combo. The addition of the fungal growth there, and here we go. He's got him backed into a corner. Fungal growth has been applied. Snute is smashing through the middle of the army, however, with those fungal growths and a big, big bile attack right in the center. Both armies taking significant damage. Both armies not really wanting to commit to any further violence for the time being. And now, of course, Infestors being added on Serral's end as well.
Yeah, and that was a pretty decent fight there from Snute, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean, Serral kind of walked into the Infestors, so he just kind of accepted that he was going to take fungal growth there. But the 4th base advantage, pretty nice. He's got an extra Vespian Geyser, so he can start to catch up in terms of tech now as well.
Yep. It's going to help him on the Infestor front quite a bit to be able to equalize those numbers. Everything's pretty equal. I mean, in terms of resources lost, there's literally 100 minerals in it.
Yeah.
So this has been very, very down the middle. And they're both maxed out. So it is time for violence.
And with the violence, there's also going to come new tech trees too, hopefully.
Yeah, we're seeing Hive and the addition of Hydroden. So this is the kind of thing that you'll see a Zerg player do, especially in ZBZ. They're going to max out, they're going to build some new tech, and then when they lose the units in the fight, they're going to replace those lost units with some cool stuff. Something new, something interesting to try and catch the opponent off guard. Well, we see Hydroden and Hive also being added here for Serral. Snute's getting it too. A little bit of a run by here. It's going to get shut down pretty easily. Drawing his opponent out of position. The 4th base now established for Snute, but not saturated.
Yeah, Serral just kind of one step ahead. He's got his 5th base now too. He's not using it properly, but at least he has it up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's important. Yeah, the creep spread. And that was not a good fungal growth at all. That, on the other hand, was. If he can get a few biles in there, we go biles into the center. That should do significant damage. Rips through the phosphate. Oh, huge hit on Snute's right flank.
Yeah, that hurt. That did. That was a good fight for Serral.
Yep, that went well. Still, almost equal in the resources. What I want to see now, tunneling harassment. We have the claws on the way from both sides. Oh, wow. Okay. What I'd also like is $5,000 and a cheeseburger. No? No? Okay. Apparently I only have the power to summon tunneling claws upgrades. That's a pretty shitty superhero, but never mind. They both start that at the same time, realizing, yes, this will be useful. You're right, it will. Good for regen, good for harass. It's exactly what you want. +3. Oh my god, it is as equal as it gets. These guys are literally playing a mirror of each other.
Yeah, I can't believe there's no large deviations. Obviously, Snute had the Infestors early. That was kind of the biggest one, but apart from that...
Yeah. Very, very equal. Base is being taken across the map here for Serral, though. He's like, hey, can I ninja some stuff up? And like, yeah, he can. It's probably a pretty good idea. And notice that he's borrowed a bunch of roaches where he thinks Snute is going next. Which is probably not true. It's most likely they'll expand here instead. But now he's going to go for a big run by. However, Snute was ready for it. Saw it coming. He's got static defense in place as well. So that's not going to get anything done.
Yeah, Snute already preemptively splitting too. He's got units north and then had some south as well, just in case there was a double attack coming out from Serral. Not the case. Both players getting the Spire too.
Yeah.
I mean, Broodlords at this point obviously going to be fantastic to use.
Yep, we saw a late game ZVZ a few months ago, I think, at ShoutCraft Kings that went to exactly that. And it proved that those were pretty much key to this matchup at the moment. Right now we see Snute just flanking around. They both have tunneling claws available. And this is where things become a bit of a nightmare when your Ravagers get caught out of position. But excellent fungal growths there from Snute. Oh, and a good one on the way back. Can he follow it up with yet more bile? He does. He does take a lot of damage on the right flank, though. So, again, a pretty even fight on both sides. But Snute with a much smaller army at the moment. Because Snute is trying to go for Broodlords.
Yeah, that's. I think they'll both try to go for it, but Snute definitely has the leg up here. So if he's able to get to the fight earlier,
that will be handy.
Advantage, yeah.
Infestor count probably pretty low on both sides, using that burrow to great effect to try and keep him out of the mix.
It is expensive to try do this though, and any vision on this could trigger attack or a split attack or anything.
Yeah, and in a ZBZ in particular, I was like, oh, you got a smaller army and the same tech? I'm hitting you now. Oh my god, Snute's Great Wall of Spines, though, may very well prevent that from happening. That would explain why he has much a smaller army. He built a giant wall of spine crawlers in order to try and defend that tech.
Yeah, the thing is Serral's isn't too far behind either. It's only 30 seconds behind. It's not that much
that's true. That said, you know, Serral doesn't have any corruptors yet. Snute does, so Snute has a bit of an edge in the preparation there. Yep. More spines going down. Those will get slowly picked off by Biles, but
yeah,
Snute
this is a nice
setting up
advantage for Snute for sure. There's just free damage essentially.
Here we go. Yeah, more fire from the sky. Good use of the fungal growth there. Oh, that is not where you want to move your Broodlords. Oh no! Devastating! Morphing in at just the wrong time. Serral takes a huge edge. I believe the cancel did happen, so most of the money is refunded, but that is not where you want. And Serral cleans house.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's a great advantage now. Wow. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, that's the speed advantage gone. You know, we said, hey, Snute's prepped. He's getting Broodlords faster. And then, suddenly, Serral catches it, fungals it, kills them all.
Yeah, and so I think now it's really about making sure you have these additional expansions around the map, which just isn't the case for Snute. He's on these 4 bases, while Serral has multiple and can easily transfer the exhausted main base and natural to these new locations already and continue mining at the highest amount.
Yeah, also puts him in a position where he stockpiles just a metric ton of lava. Now, look at the difference. Serral has 66 lava to only 22 for Snute. So if we get a remax situation, Serral's are going to be way more capable of doing that. Here come the Broodlords from Serral, and Snute's out of position. Now we see a little bit of run by. So this is the disadvantage of being as spread out as Serral is, that he becomes vulnerable to this kind of thing.
Snute has 0 corruptors, nothing. He doesn't have anything to stop these Broodlords at the moment.
Yeah, he's just started building them, but that's not enough. I'm worried. I'm worried for him. Snute only has a Hydra. Like, he can hit him with Ravager shots, maybe, but this is bad. This is very, very bad for Snute. Yeah. This tech is going to catch him completely off guard, I think, if Serral decides to strike now, which he should. You know, attack that siege line with the Broodlords. It's ideal.
Yeah, he has to attack now. This is a perfect chance for Serral.
Yep, and he's going to go for it. He'll set up and see what he can get. That would be nice. Just sort of hovering around, deciding what to go after. And here comes the Siege Broodlords, and let's see what can be done. There are not a lot of Corruptors here to defend for Snute. Now, this is also an opportunity, if he's able to set up a siege line, to maybe then strike with a run-by, probably like Burrowed Roaches maybe, on that other base from Snute. You can bypass most of the spines, but splitting up is obviously a risk. Nice fungal. Doesn't kill the Broodlords, but does a lot of damage. Another great fungal on both sides here. Serral's army taking massive bombardment. Oh my god! The Broodlords get destroyed. But there's more coming in from the back here for Serral. Great fungals, though. Snute decimates that army. Look at the amount of Ravagers in play. Able to tear this apart.
Gosh, well done, Snute. He had a 360 surround almost, or maybe not 360, but a good chunk of it was surrounded. Yeah. Also, spine crawlers were doing efficient damage too. That was a good fight for Snute, or a poor one perhaps from Serral. Yeah,
maybe Serral got a bit impetuous and overestimated his Broodlords a bit there. But one way or the other, Snute did exactly what he had to do. Even lacking, big Hydra support, the combination of Infesta fungal growth with the corrosive biles was more than enough to take those Broodlords out. And those fungals were excellent on Snute's part. He got so many units with them.
However, the economy, though, that Serral's kind of established through expanding around so early and transferring drones is really playing through. He's still at a 50 supply advantage. Mm-hmm. He still has a larger army.
Yeah. I mean, because he just remaxed, and he's getting plenty. Pathogen glands being added in the mix, that's good. Serral realizing, all right, Infestors were key to that fight, let's get more of them, let's make sure they have more energy. But you're right, that was a great engagement from Snute, but Snute doesn't have the money to really capitalize on that yet. And I would like to see more run-bys, Serral is leaving most of these bases completely undefended. They're very vulnerable to potential run-bys.
And the thing is Snute really doesn't have that much on the ground itself. Like, a few Hydras, a few Roaches, that's it.
Here we go, another great fungal at the back. And the Viper's now added into the mix. That was an unexpected addition. Snute wasn't ready for that. Gets a few of his Broodlords pulled out. Looking for position, looking for fungals. It's so key. He gets a good one. Oh, it's right in the middle. Can he land enough biles? He does some damage, it's not quite enough. And Serral actually has mostly transitioned back into a ground army. Thinking, you know what, these Broodlords just not a good idea.
Yeah, and he takes down another base. Very nice, and Snoot's struggling for money. It's that simple at this point.
Yeah, Serral's playing this very, very well. Like you said, his economic prowess is really coming into play here. He's got so much lava, so much money. It's just really surprising me that Snute isn't attacking it. Like, just a few burrowed roaches into these bases would do significant damage.
Yeah, there's just a lot of freedom being given to Serral around the map. And still a massive supply advantage. Wonder how Snoot's going to try and play this. He's trying to expand towards the north, but that's going to get shut down instantly. And even the base in the middle isn't.
Yeah, Serral's very on top of that. Now Snute is realizing the problem is this is the one base Serral actually is defending. He's got some roaches there. Snute has more. He will be able to overcome it, but that's not going to stop Serral from bringing his army. He is actually caught out off of creep, so it is going to take a while to get there. But you know, there are opportunities for harass. Lovely catch there. Excellent fungal. That harassment force is going to be obliterated. And that's not the kind of thing that Snute can afford right now.
Well, 200 supply to 140. Serral's coming in one last time for
that might do
potential game ender.
I mean, he is attacking into a massive wall of spines, which isn't ideal, but, like, honestly, from Snute, I don't think Snute's got the firepower to stop him anyway. Serral's going for it. Great fungal, but no corrosive bile follow-up to kill all of them. He just kills one. Not quite enough to get rid of those Vipers. And another base falls. Serral can just back off here safely. But he's not. He's actually... Oh, wow. Uncharacteristic mistake. Serral loses almost all his Vipers by just leaving them lying around. That's not what you want.
He's got so much money in the bank, though. It's incredible. He just continues to reinforce his army over and over and over to make sure that he is just hammering into Snute. Snute is so suffocated at this point. No expansions really bringing him any money, and he's having a hard time. Just trying to keep up.
Yeah, and Serral's picking him apart. Like, Serral has no reason to aggressively attack. Like, kill a base, back off. Kill a base, back off. Establish your economic dominance across the map. Take every base, which is basically what he's doing. He's even taking another one now.
Yeah.
You know, he's taken 80% of the bases on the map. And knowing that Snute can't harass you or is unwilling to, why not? There's no reason not to, you know, and then you could afford to take a bad fight and just take another one, because your opponent can't afford to take a bad fight.
Oh, it's going to go in again.
All right. And there's a quick yank. The fungal does very little. And this might be the end. Snute bringing the rest of his army, gets a good attack there. He's able to take most of the Corruptors out, so that means the Broodlords are going to be able to reign for a little while, but there are still Hydras in the back and plenty of Ravagers. He continues to push forward here, and Snute holds for the time being, thanks to some excellent fungals and good pickoffs of the Corruptors. The Broodlords did the job there, and he's going to chase down his opponent. But of course, the story is once again the economy. Even after taking a great fight, Serral's still ahead in army supply.
Yeah, as you can see it in the units lost tab and the efficiency of resources being used. Serral's losing resources left and right, but he's just got so much income that it's completely fine to do so.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't allow Snute to get his head above water again and, you know, start expanding himself and making sure that his income is equal, then there's no threat here whatsoever to Serral to continue to just hammer in.
Yeah, Serral's actually going to start to add swarm hosts. I love this, simply on the basis that Snute has a serious base problem. And if you build a bunch of swarm hosts, you can snipe bases really, really quickly. He's going to have to sacrifice some units to actually get more than one of them. There's going to be no use right now, but yeah, they blow up hatcheries. They're very, very good at that. And if you're going to have a player like Snute who is playing passively, you are going to get eaten by swarm hosts.
Absolutely. And see if you can utilize them properly. But Snute, Spine Crawler, freedom, assistance needed.
Here we go once again, lovely fungal. I mean, Snute's been totally on point with those the whole time. That's the only reason his Broodlords are like, oh no! That was a very, very big fungal in the center there. Both sides have been hit very, very hard by that. Corrosive biles fall on both ends. Serral should be able to break through this. He will lose a lot of units. but it's so very, very close. Now, Final Fungal might allow Snute to hold. There's like no units for anybody here. That was devastating for both sides, but GG. The army supply. He just remaxed again. It didn't matter.
Just hammering into Snute, just expanding building units until Snute just had nothing left, and he used all the resources he had on his side of the map until there's just nothing he could do.
Yeah, that was a story of economic dominance. That was a story of Snute not being able to properly harass his opponent, and there were so many opportunities. And I think if Snute had known that, he'd watch that replay, he's going to kick himself. It's like, you had 3 or 4 undefended expansions. Like, you didn't have a spine at them. I could have decimated them 10 times over, and I didn't, because I was afraid of your main attack. So I think, like, that was a situation of he played far too passively.
Yeah, I mean, his choice to go so fast high tech on these 3 or 4 bases, and sit back to get that. Problem is Serral was doing the same, but aggressively expanding at the same time. But a well-deserved victory. Yeah,
well done. Very well done. Serral showing, yeah, he does have Snute's number, by the looks of it. All right, we're going to get on with this. We've had a long tournament already, and we still have a few players left, and you can see who's in this, and, well, if Serral wants to prove himself, he's got a challenge ahead of them. We have already had a foreign Zerg player take down the best Terran in the world. But, of course, last year, the best Terran in the world had one 4-letter name. And, of course, was famous for having an adorable dog back in the day. The reigning world champion, Bjorn.
This guy, one of a kind. One of the best. I mean, a lot of players today are really some of the best, but Bjorn is definitely one of the best. And I loved watching all about him in the last few years. His rise, his return, his rise.
His story, man.
Yeah.
This is a guy that, didn't have that formal Korean training. He wasn't one of those Kesper elite. This was a guy that ground online tournaments. This is a guy that played for $25 on a Thursday night at 3 a.m. And this is a guy that through sheer practice was able to conquer the world. Yep. That's a hell of a story. And as most of those stories go, he ended up in a position where he had a target on his back. His builds were analyzed. His favorite unit got nerfed with the Reaper. And he has fallen off lately, which is what happens to all of them. Like, that is not a slight against Bjorn. Yep. That is just what happens to Bjorn. That happens to every champion. They have that post-championship slump because everyone wants to know how to beat Bjorn. And there's so much tape on Bjorn, like, because he plays so many online events. You can analyze everything he's ever done 100 times over.
Yeah, there's very few people in StarCraft over, 7, 10, 15 years, if you want to go back into Brood War, that have been at the top and have dominated. You've got your clear players like Jaedong and Flash and whoever back in Brood War days. Yeah. But it's very, very difficult to identify that type of player who is dominant and stays dominant. Very, very true.
It is, and Bjorn has had a fall-off lately. But don't let that fool you, because I've been watching his progress in the online events as always, and he's been kicking ass left, right, and center. That's what he does. He hasn't won another big tournament, but he's been doing very well in smaller ones, and that's what led him to his victory last year, so don't count him out. He might not become the BlizzCon champion this year. I don't believe he qualified, if I recall correctly.
No, I don't think he did.
No, but he's still one hell of a player. To the southeast position in the blue trunks, playing Terran, the reigning world champion, Bjorn. Versus his opponent to the northwest position. In the red trunks, playing Zerg, the reigning king of the hill, Finland's own Serral.
Well, Serral's just picked up a fantastic scout here. He shouldn't really reveal that he knows this, but okay, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yep, Bjorn going for a double barracks, probably double Reaper play. One of his personal favorites, this one.
Yeah.
Not
and the thing is there's already circling speed on the way, and actually, or there will be, sorry, but the thing is like, the Trojans are coming off the line.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is a cancel situation.
Well, this is Reapers, right? I don't think he can stop.
No, he's
the
building
barracks.
Marines. He's building Marines. It's not Reapers at all, so...
Oh, wow, okay.
This is... This is interesting. All right, oh,
okay.
dear.
He stopped the second barracks. That's pretty good. I don't think he could get that. That's really
he
good.
did. Yeah, that's going to move to a great place. Great micro here by Serral, you know, trying to just keep these drones alive. Bjorn will get one, maybe two. You know, if he gets two, that's pretty good, but I don't know where he goes from here. Like, there's Lings on the way, and you have no wall. So, this was an effort. It just got scouted immediately. It's one of his kind of favorites. I expected Reapers out of him. It actually ended up being Proxy Marine. But, I mean, what do you do from here? Well, you have to lift off and go back to your base. You better get that wall up quick because they're coming at you. So, you know, what did he really do there? What did he spend? Like, he cancels a barracks, he flies the other one out, he kills a few drones, and actually forces a bunch off the mineral line. Then he gets back to building, and his command center's on the way. So in reality, you look at that and you say, oh god, that's terrible. It's actually not that terrible. He would have preferred it turn out better, but do you really think, analyzing that Bjorn is in a bad position?
No, he's not in the worst position at all.
No, it should be okay.
The drones off the line, not mining for so long is pretty bad too. You got to think about.
Yes, it is. Yeah, not to mention the ones that died. You know, were just he pulled 6 off an economy that at that point had about 13 at most, 14 maybe. So yeah, that's a significant amount. And he's also using the barracks to block the expansion of the third base, which is gonna be annoying. Now, he'll probably lose that barracks. I don't know, it depends when he lifts it off. If he lifts it off at the right time, he'll lose it. If not, the Queen will pick it off. Yeah, I think he's just gonna let it die. Which, you know, it's a bit of an investment. I don't know if that's worth doing, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal to be in this situation, but it's not terrible at all. I mean, he'll move down and take his second base very shortly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think Serral was kind of smart about he didn't invest into mining gas kind of early because he knew that he was pulling drones off and needed as many guys mining minerals as possible so he can start to, you know, get that income moving so he can get drones, queens, and an additional hatchery up. However, Bjorn from this position is gonna have to play pretty flawless from now on, to allow Serral to get creep spread that he just can't touch because he didn't play early and traditionally with Reapers or Hellions, for example. It's just giving freedom to Serral in that regard.
Yep.
Like, that's one of the nice advantages of this for Serral.
Yeah, we should bear in mind, of course, he has no scouting information of the main, but with a third up, there's nothing that would really otherwise be there. You know, if you've got a 3 hatch at this position, you're not like you're gonna have secret tech. But there is actually a Baneling nest coming up from Serral a little earlier than you would necessarily expect one. So that may have been useful information to have.
Yeah, and with the Baneling nest, it's just a safety net, right? Super good safety net. Any weird stuff that Bjorn throws at him, apart from obviously Banshees, you can't do much with Banelings and Banshees, but it's always good to have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have Zerglings only, you usually find yourself in a pretty tricky situation if Hellbats or something were thrown at you.
Yeah, and Bjorn is doing fine right now. You know, Lair's on the way. We've got Starport up, producing double medevac. We're basically going for early stim Marines with medevacs and drop harass, which Bjorn is very, very good at. And the economy is not too shabby. There are 52 drones, but that's what these medevacs are for. You know, he gets a couple of these up, does some drops, kills some drones, and suddenly they're on even footing. However, what's interesting to see is this really early centrifugal hooks from Serral. That's, you know, that's like I think that's my opponent's going to be aggressive. I need Banelings and I need them to move quickly kind of move. It could be for some kind of bust, but I don't think so.
Yeah, you never know, really. You never really know.
Might be. All right, let's see what happens. Well, the drop's on the way. Obviously, queen count, it's not crazy. Nice scan from Bjorn. He's going to get a lot of creep for that. And interesting choice on that investment. You know, when you're behind economically, it's like, do you want to do that or a mule? Well, you know, he kills 6 or 7 tumors. He actually scans again He really doesn't want that creep to get out of control. He realizes what a problem that could be. Great focus fire. Incredible focus fire. Gets out with no losses.
Yeah, that's very good.
What a move.
And time for the Beyond Vax, because
yep.
two out there in the open. He's just loaded up 2 more as well. This is going to be down to Serral to really control properly, because typically you'd like Mutalisk to deal with this, right? Or Hydralisk or something, but he's
Hydra's
only
on the way. Yeah, but it's going to be a while. But yeah, you're right. I think that might even be why he got Speed Banes, because he's like, I know what Beyond can do with Stim Marines and Medivacs.
Yeah.
Speed Banes make it harder. Well, so far Beyond is just pissing all over you with that. Oh, great elevation play. Gets a couple of lings as well. Like, Beyond is at full speed right now. Bear in mind, both these guys are playing from Korea. They've got like 5 ping. There's no excuse. This is LAN environment essentially for them. Viking picks off another Overlord. Beyond is in full aggression, and he's picking off Queens, Lings. Serral is just like, what just happened? Good God, what did I spawn? What did I create? This guy is insane. Oh my God, the micro. Another Queen.
Pretty nuts, yeah. He's doing so much damage.
It's ridiculous. It's insane how much damage he's done. And he's still going. He's not done yet.
And the 4th base is in danger now as well.
All Banelings focus fire. Pick up and go. Viking landed, picks off. Get out of there. Oh. Well, I guess he gets to scout the Banelings. Holy crap. What? Jesus. Beyond is full firepower, full speed. And Serral is struggling to keep up. I mean, this is the speed of the world champion.
Yeah. So, he's still doing damage in the main base.
Yep.
You know, he's still kind of shooting at the 4th base as well, but behind all of that, 3rd command center done, all these other units kind of just sitting around, building up at home too.
Yep.
Very good switch of gears from Beyond.
Yes, yeah. To 9th, whatever that is, you know. Goes up to 11, see, right across the board. We're seeing an interesting switch of tech, as you can see here. Mines and Liberators. So not going to rely on just Marines. This is more of a more modern parade push, you know? This is the kind of thing you can start to push across the map, secure positions, and then drop behind. Beyond letting a couple more Marines and maybe as necessary die there, but did okay nonetheless. Like, continually just pressuring the hell out of Serral. But Serral's economy's in a pretty good spot. As much damage as he's done, and he's kept the Zerg army quite small, he hasn't been able to really hit the economy very hard. And that's what these Liberators are for right now.
Yeah, and they'll also be able to, you know, harass now and come back to join the fight later.
Yep.
But he's got to keep the creep spread low around the 4th base if this kind of parade push is going to work.
Yes. Hydra's getting blasted, but then it's not quite good enough. The one shot doesn't quite kill it. Try to bring the 4th down. He's not going to get it. He'll split, but look at the mines! Oh, a lot of dead Banelings. Doesn't quite hit the main group. If he'd hit the main group, that would have been huge, but decent defense by Serral. Serral's starting to get his groove back. He's like, he was rocked. Like, I mean, this is like round 1, flurry of punches. Now it's round 2, he's stabilized a little bit. You know, Beyond's maybe punched himself out a little, so he's slowing down. So Serral's starting to regain control of this match.
Alright, so it's going to be a contest for this 4th area that Serral's trying to establish to the bottom left.
Yep.
But 2-2's coming in, and that's a huge difference. Like, the upgrades that Serral currently have, 1-1, is just...
Can he get it? Can he get it? He gets it. Excellent pickoff. He's getting out of there as well. Great aggression. Good commitment. You're right. Those 2-2, I mean, you know, Marines are Beyond's unit. 2-2 is going to make a big, big difference. These Lings are not, you know, 2-2 hasn't even... It's only just started ground carapace. No melee attack. You know, he may decide not to go that way. Bear in mind, he has Hydras, so he might be thinking range instead. So Hydra Bane, you might not have seen much of that if you haven't watched a lot of StarCraft lately, Apollo, but it is a thing. People do quite like it. It's a good option against Terran. It's nasty. Can do a lot of damage at range, and of course the Banelings crash in and make it very hard for the Lings to get on top of the, for the Marines to get on top of the Hydras.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he deals with the Hydra Bane. I mean, Widow Mines is essentially what he's doing, and good splits. That's
Widow Mines and Liberators can do the job. Yeah. So far, he hasn't got those money mine hits. It'd be nice to see a drilling claw upgrade. I don't think he quite has that yet. That will be handy here. That'll let him get those money mine hits. Interesting Ling setup over there. It looks like, yeah, he wants to strike the 4th base when it deploys. We've got yet more drops coming in here, but the main force, that's a nasty place to fight, and Beyond knows it. That's a great choke point to use, especially with a mine backing up. Banelings can't roll in there. Yet more damage done to the economy of the Zerg, but the Zerg economy has stayed, like, really solid throughout. I've got to commend Serral's defense against so many drops. He hasn't lost a lot of drones. He's been very, very diligent about protecting them.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best income, but he's not evolving his tech too much. So ideally, you'd like to be on 8 gases as a Zerg player, right? But he's only on 6, but he's only staying on Zergling, Baneling, really, and a few Hydralisks sprinkled in.
Yeah.
But he's got to start thinking long-term soon.
Yeah, the question is, where does he go? You know, we often see this. This can either go, you know, Hydra Viper, or it could go through to Ultralisk tech. That's very common. And especially with Ground Carapace level 2 coming in, that smells like Ultra tech. You want to set up for that. You don't necessarily need the melee upgrades to make them work. Beyond deflecting that potential run-by up to the top right there, that's going to be very helpful. Another Ling run-by comes in. Now, this area is undefended. The Marines need to get back in time, and they do. Mine hit is good as well. That's going to be them driven back. These mines are very well placed. They're all over the map. These run-bys are getting shut down left, right, and center. Here comes another drop around the back here, taking out more workers and a push towards this front to clear out more creep. I like it. Very diligent play by Beyond.
Yeah, 3-area attack, that drop, push, and then the main push at the bottom.
Some good stuff. Very, very good control. Takes out another queen as well. And needs to be careful.
Wow.
Takes a nasty Baneling hit, but it wasn't too bad. And of course, now his Hydra's left unprotected. Potential fungal here. I don't know if he knows about that Burrowed Infestor. Watch out, he eats a fungal right in the middle. That does a lot of damage, loses quite a lot of his Marines. He's now trying to push towards the 4th base again. He's not going to have the damage. He needs to get out of there. He knows it. He's getting out with what he can.
Gosh, lots of action this game.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all over the place. Very quick. Down goes that mine. You can see clearly how useful it would be if that mine had drilling claws now. Crackling upgrade coming in, and the Ultra Tech. So that's where he's going right now. We need to see a Liberate account start to build up in order to make the Terran defense viable.
So Beyond's dropping inside the main base, but Serral has this Burrowed Infestor, I just noticed, on the right-hand side, just kind of sitting around this 4th base.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a couple of fungals could clean out that mineral line, I think. Once again, Beyond using this corridor here. Oh my god! Huge fungal, but not quite the Baneling follow-up needed to really finish him off. Good damage, though.
I'm surprised that he didn't get drilling claws, right? That's still a thing.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah, he's just missed it. It would be hugely useful with the amount of mines he's using here.
He doesn't have a second factory, like, with a tech lab. It's on the tech lab,
that's probably exactly why. Yeah. It is a bit of a miss. Now he's starting to build his Liberator account up. He's got to need this to beat the Ultralisk. Another great fungal and a huge Baneling crash. That's proving to be very, very useful here. These fungals are really starting to catch Beyond off guard. He's still got the bigger army, but he's getting whittled down, and he's going to need a very big army, because once this Ultra Tech pops out, he's going to need this overwhelming numbers to beat it. Oh, Baneling's right into the middle. Not a good split here by Beyond. Not at all. He's going to have to back off now. Oh, on the way out. Nice hit. Very great. Very good fungal.
I'm not too sure why Beyond was fighting there in the middle of creep with no support from either Liberators or Widow Mines.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
Just splitting on creep versus all of it.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. I mean, he's been trying to push that creep back, but Serral's been very diligent about keeping it. We need to see Liberator count go above 2. Like, there's 3 Ultras, only 2 Liberators. I don't like it. It's not a good situation to be in. And Beyond's actually using them for harassment, not for killing Ultralisks. He knows about the Ultras now. Like, the Marine and Marauder will not be enough to bring down those Ultras, especially if more are on the way. And with Infestors in the mix, Ultras are gonna scythe through this army. And that's exactly what they did. And now the Terran is in huge trouble. Beyond not adapting to this tech change at all. Trying to win mid-game maybe, but Serral not allowing it to happen. Quick stim forward, needs to watch out not to run into a fungal. Thankfully, there's none there. He's able to drive that army away for the time being, but he's got to think, what am I going to do against these Ultralisks?
Yeah, I mean, typically a Terran player would have multiple factories and multiple starports at this stage of the game, so they can kind of switch around between Medivac creation and Liberator creation.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, obviously, Widow Mines or even Thors. I mean,
something. Yes, Thors are definitely used against Ultras. But you're right, he doesn't, and that's a bit odd. He's just producing a lot of bio, which is fine. That's your bread and butter. But in comes an Infestor looking to maybe pop up and do some damage. Yeah. Ooh, he could do something here. I don't know if he's got enough to kill anything. I need 2 fungals. Oh, he's set up right behind to trap them. He's going to try and fungal on the way out, and he nails them. In come the Ultras to cut their way through the Terran again. These moves, they're so very, very good, and that's a perfect way to counter Bjorn's micro, just locking those units down to fungal growth. It was a focus fire. Take another Ultra out if you can.
Yeah, Bjorn's definitely struggling here.
Yeah.
Does not have much supply left. He's down on army supply. His economy's pretty decent, though.
Yeah, it is.
He doesn't have a large army yet.
Yeah, he keeps losing it. He's trying to get a Liberator count up that's good enough, trying to get mines up. The Zerg player is just constantly keeping the Terran army small. And that's proven to be a huge problem. More Banelings rolling in right here. They may very well have another Liberator falls. If he had 4 or 5 Liberators, make a huge difference to this. Oh no, that was not the time to mule that base at all. Needs to bring those reinforcements. The whole middle line just got eaten. That was nasty, nasty stuff. Cracklings ripping their way through. And now another run by on the right base. Bjorn is starting to fall to pieces here. Serral's got him. GG.
Well done by Serral.
A lightning speed game on both counts. Excellent play from Serral. Bjorn, he looked, obviously he's kind of screwed up his early game rush, but he looked good after that, but he just wasn't able to get that army composition together. Like you said, you were looking at him, it's like, why does he have 1 factory? Only has 1 starport, doesn't have enough Liberators, doesn't have drilling claws for his mines, relying on a very old style that doesn't work now that Infestors are back in the meta. It really isn't doing the job anymore.
Yeah, it definitely felt Serral just had a couple of extra tools that Bjorn wasn't playing on the same level with, whether it was Infestors or Ultralists at that point. And just fighting, he just was playing highly aggressive on mid-tier units, almost like you kind of said earlier that he wanted to finish it in the mid stages and wasn't really planning to play this game out that long. But yeah, he definitely struggled there a little bit.
Yes, he did. No doubt about that. But well done there for Serral. That's 2 top Koreans taken out by 2 top European Zergs today. Very impressive stuff. Serral making his mark here in this tournament.
Yeah.
Some good stuff, though. We've got a few players left for him to try against. Let's see if he can do some damage. We're going to take a break first, though. And then we're going to come back. We have, because we're doing some bonus matches today, just because I felt like it, we are going to have 3 more matches, folks. 3 more matches from here. Will Serral be able to keep that throne? He's looking good, but there are some great players waiting in the wings. We'll be right back after the break to find out exactly who they are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ShoutCraft Kings. And as we said, we're doing a few bonus matches today. We just felt like it. Thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
How many more did you say? 2 more? 3 more, right?
We'll do 3. So this will be the first of 3 matches. So we'll have, I think, a total of 22 today, which is more than we usually do. We just had so many good players and people asked to play. We decided to try and include a couple more. And
yeah, why not?
This is going to be one hell of a one. So Serral, one of the top foreigners right now, no doubt about it, just proved it quite conclusively, I think. Well, why don't we put him up against someone who might be just that little bit better. Somebody, of course, that defeated this player in order to win the DreamHack event. Somebody that Serral may want a little bit of revenge against for that particular transgression is Neeb.
One of the greatest non-Koreans. I think it's safe to say that he's rising to the levels of Stefano and Naniwa in recent times with his dominant performance this year and last.
I would think you're right on that one. All right, these guys are ready to go, so let's rock and roll. Acolyte Ellie is going to be the venue for this encounter, and these guys, as I said, they are somewhat rivals as a direct result of how often they've played against each other and the tournament results. Remember to tweet hashtag ShoutCraft if you want to get your thoughts across. We've got plenty of awesome games today. We'd like to know what you think of them and what you have to say. So send them our way and we'll get them up on the screen. And, well, here we go. Let's get cracking. Ladies and gentlemen, here on Acolyte LE, I bring you the reigning king of the hill. To the southwest position in the blue trunks playing Zerg, it's Serral. Versus his opponents, the northeast position. Some say the best foreigner of all time. I think Stefano might have something to say about that, but certainly getting there. In the yellow trunks for Team Ting, it's Neeb.
Nothing short of a spectacular year for Neeb, really.
Yeah, I don't think you can really argue with that.
Yeah, I think he started off pretty weak, if I remember correctly, earlier
Yes.
in the year around Poland when he went over to Katowice, but he turned that around quite fast. And, back-to-back-to-back champion, pretty much. Very, very impressive year.
Yeah. Being able to win a Korean tournament, not something that many foreign players could say they've ever been able to do.
Or will ever do. Yeah,
No.
It's nuts.
That's the thing. It probably won't really happen. So it's a very, very unique thing when it happens. And he has been incredible. Thing is, of course, now he has massive expectations on his back. And people are very disappointed whenever he loses.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we've talked about this before. StarCraft 2 is a very hard game. And to be that consistent, to win that many events, is basically impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a consistency you haven't seen in a very long time. Because if you look past, Stefano, and definitely Stefano was he was a dominating player, especially in European and North American tournaments. But past that, the other players that have been near the top just haven't been able to consistently put in the same results. It just hasn't existed before. So, your top players such as Snute, your Nurcio, your Laser, it's that level of winning back-to-back tournaments or top 4 3 times in a row it's unbelievable, to be fair. And it's a good credit to Neeb and very, very healthy for the North American fan base to finally have
someone they can get behind.
Captain America.
Absolutely. Been relying on Scarlet for quite some time. And then, of course, before that, we were relying on Polt as Captain America. Just our little imported Captain America. But, yeah, having a Native American player do that well, it's... we hadn't seen that really since Idra, honestly. Was very, very impressive. And continues to be so, So we're going to have to see how he can perform at BlizzCon. And whether or not he will be able to make it past the round of 16. I say I had the pleasure of casting his round of 16 game at BlizzCon last year, but it took about 10 minutes and he got whomped 3-0 by Dark. So it wasn't even close. Yeah. It was a pretty disappointing game to cast overall. People were very excited and then realized, oh god, the Koreans are still here and they're still scary. Yeah. So that was a bit of a problem. Neeb's going in with one of his favorite units, the Adept. I think the other favorite unit is the Disruptor. His Disruptor use is just insane, especially in PvP. It's top level, it's top tier stuff. Exceptional control across the board. I would love to see. I want to know how he's going to do in BlizzCon. As for these two, well, they don't face each other that much. The last time they faced each other in a tournament was, in fact, Yon Shopping. Very close 4-3 series in favor of Neeb. Before that, it was actually Serral coming out on top at the last Penthouse party in June, I think. And those were the only 2 times they've really met in a major event. So these guys, I don't see a reason why they would run into each other that often, Serral currently is in Korea, and Neeb right now is in America. That's usually not the case. But Serral, I don't think, is usually in Korea. So they wouldn't run into each other on ladder.
Yeah, the thing is these two players are, someone's starting to say, that these guys are the rising stars of both Europe and North America. Just two really young, very talented, highly skilled players.
Absolutely. Interesting. Void Ray on the way out. I've seen a little bit of that lately. It's a very good Overlord killer. Those 2 Oracles still around. And Neeb did pretty well with that. He got a couple of kills, and then what he had was a worker that then created a spore crawler and then was not cancelled. So that's actually a significant loss monetarily for Serral. So that was an uncharacteristic error that Neeb has been able to take significant advantage of. And now with the Void Ray out, he has the means to blast Overlords. Thankfully, Serral did go for pneumaticized carapace, so he will be able to get out of there.
And this is super interesting because 3 Stargates in total. Yeah. Not something that I've seen. I mean, I've seen it a lot over the years.
That's old school. But what here's what's going on. I can actually inform you of this because we kind of learned about it last ShoutCraft Kings, and it's been quite prevalent around this time. Basically, it's 3 Starport Oracle, and it's Oracle's front line. As it turns out, Oracle DPS is very good, and if you get about 9 of them, you can basically fight a Zerg front line. And there's not really a lot a Zerg can do about it. What we're seeing in response to this, because I think Serral knows what's coming, is an attempt to Nidus Neeb before he's able to do that. So it's becoming like sort of the build of the week against Zerg. It's weird. It doesn't make sense that it would work, but it does. Right. And as soon as he sees his 3 oracles, he's going to know exactly what's up. And I think he was suspecting it already. Great use of the transfuse there by Serral. And I think the Nidus is going to be key here. And it has gone unscouted. Yeah,
the Nidus is going to be super... I mean, I don't know, and I don't want to predict it, but it could just...
It might end the game.
You know, it could, because there's double Forge behind this. There's no gateway support at all.
Yeah.
It's just these air units, and the Queens have a lot of energy, and there's quite a few Queens.
Yes, and they're all going to come through. He knows exactly what's up with this. You know, this is an answer to it. People have been struggling to find an answer to this Oracle attack for a while. Obviously, this is basically sort of a Nidus all-in. It will probably do the job. So far, so good. Anyway, you know, the main is having to be abandoned. He's going to try and produce more oracles. What needs to be done is that production to get shut down. If more oracles come up, then you get like 12 oracles, it will actually win this fight, which is stupid. I know, but it happens. And a lot of power being shut down here. And now we could shut down the production. I think Serral might have got Neeb's number here. Like, he's seen Neeb do this a lot, and Neeb's had a lot of success with it. And, well... will there be enough oracles? There'll be maybe 12. No, 11 is what we're getting here, I think. Oh, that's still running. There's another pylon powering it. Yeah, we're going to have 12 oracles. Is that enough to kill that army? With that many roaches and that many queens?
No, I don't think so.
No, even oracles are really good, but I don't know if they're that good. I guess we'll find out.
And they have energy too, right? So they will run out of energy.
Yep, they do. Yeah, they don't have a lot of it because they're just newly spawned. So you'll see, you know, they'll devastate the roaches. And obviously this cannon wall is very effective, but these queens are going to keep marching forward. And with this amount of transfuse, it's going to be very hard for these oracles to make it happen. And of course, you know, you can send more roaches through the Nidus if you want to. It looks like Neeb actually went and just destroyed the main mineral line as a counterattack.
I'm not sure what Serral's doing here. This is kind of like silly attacking down into this.
He actually is losing. And because instead of trying to hold the line, Neeb just went to the main base and killed all the drones, and then killed all the drones at the 3rd. And now the oracles are jumping on top of it with the drone support. And now the rest of the oracles are here. Watch what happens. It's dead. You see how silly that is?
Yeah. Oracles are quite, like, that was a weird game for sure. Oracles are definitely strong.
Yeah, this has been happening quite a bit, and obviously this Nidus attack seems to be a thing that people are trying to beat it with, and apparently that doesn't work either. So, well, there you go.
It's kind of funny, because Serral got trapped in that main base, right? It's not like he could escape at all, and he just has to attack down into these cannons. He's got no other choice, and definitely a weird game for me. I haven't even really seen that before.
Yeah, it's pretty recent. I have difficulty keeping up on all the crazy StarCraft that's going on. When we saw that last tournament, that was the first time I'd seen it happen. But apparently it had happened in a GSL a few days before that, and Neeb has been doing a lot of it. And it's very, very hard to stop, as you can see. And that's why it's very, very difficult.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
Victory achieved by Neeb.
Indeed. I don't really know what you do against that. I mean, the queens were not optimally used, but it was interesting to see that Neeb just didn't try and hold that front line at all. I think, like, probably in that situation, what you do is you build, and you flood with more Zerglings after that, and try and kill the base. Because once, the Roaches don't really have the DPS and then die really fast. Obviously, Lings die incredibly fast to Oracles as well, but they're eventually going to run out of energy. And honestly, he only left about 4 or 5 Oracles there. He sent the rest to the other base and killed all the workers at it. So the Zerg had no economy left. So he didn't even use his whole Oracle force to beat that. Disco Inferno is what that strategy is. And, yeah, it's that's what I'm calling it. If it hasn't got a name yet, we're going to call it Disco Inferno. It's a goddamn nightmare. That's what it is. Almost undefeatable. Well, we have 2 more matches left. And we're going to bring a Terran in, I think. Assuming that he's around. He should be. And so mostly so he doesn't do that Oracle strat again.
Yeah, the undefeated Oracle strat.
I mean, it is. I haven't seen it beaten yet. But of course, I haven't seen all the games that it's been used in. It's hard to just one way or the other. It's very, very hard to deal with. So someone will figure it out. I mean, the Nidus makes sense in theory. It just didn't seem like it really worked there.
Yeah, sadly not. Sadly not. It had a great start. It just needed to, not get locked out from finishing the game off.
Yep.
But lots of Oracles. All right, so a Terran next for Neeb. I think this is still true, but isn't Terran Neeb's weaker matchup? I think he's historically struggled more so. Or has that changed recently?
It's a good question. Well, thankfully there's a website that tells me that, so I can pretend to be smart.
Yeah, I think that historically that Terran had been his weakest matchup. I don't know if it is anymore.
Not by much. Like, there's a couple of percentages in it as of late. Like, his form's been... But the thing is, we're talking about... His lowest form is 70% right now. And that's in PvT. Like, he's got 81% versus Zerg and 80% against Protoss, which is insane. But, you've got to bear in mind, like, what... He's mostly been playing foreigners with that. So... That, those stats don't necessarily reflect what he would do against a Korean player. But regardless, those stats are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to see, hopefully, yes, our invitee is coming up. So, the next opponent, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another guy that's been really making a name for himself. We've seen a couple of standouts from the Latin American territory. And this is one who has been... really on the rise as of late. He really put himself on the map with a win in the GSL versus the World Tournament. From Brazil, it's Kelazur.
Kelazur. Diego Schwimmer.
Indeed. Well,
yeah, one of the nicest
like
guys ever.
Yeah, he's awesome. No doubt about that. Really great guy.
Super friendly guy.
Yep. I wish him all the success, and it's always good to have a Latin American player for the Latin American fans to root for. Looks like we are about ready to rock and roll. I think we're missing our French caster. Well, guess they're not here, so never mind. All right, we're heading in.
All right.
Send you to
Let's
Aya.
go!
It's the map. We've got 2 more maps left, ladies and gents. Can Kelazur overcome Neeb? We will find out. Currently, Kelazur doing pretty well against Protoss, although not brilliantly, certainly. And Neeb, I don't know if Neeb just counts as Protoss. I think Neeb just counts as Neeb, really. He's that damn good.
Yeah.
He's a scary man. Very scary man. Recent very good win, Kelazur against Showtime in the Montreal tournament playoffs.
I watched that one, actually.
Yeah, it was a good one. Showtime's a great player. Absolutely love watching him play. Very entertaining. Will he be able to pull that off against a player like Neeb, though? Well, we'll find out. To the northwest position, here we are, the reigning king of the hill. Arguably the best foreigner. The debate will rage eternally. It is, in the Yellow Trunks, playing Protoss, Neeb. I remember when he was a Terran back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep, all he built was Hellions. That was what he did. He didn't find a lot of success doing that, so I guess it's best that he switched to the southeast position in the Red Trunks, playing Terran. Root Kelazur.
Neeb.
Indeed.
Yeah, Kelazur's a really, really good guy. Very good player, too. But Neeb is beast level currently.
He is. It's hard to dispute that. Interestingly enough, Neeb's success in this tournament has been very mixed. Admittedly, because he was mostly in Korea, he ended up in earlier groups, which meant he ran up against some nasty Koreans, you know. And the way that the tournament works, of course, we can't necessarily have the best Koreans playing at 4 a.m., so, you know, they often play in the earlier groups. So, arguably, the tournament gets a little bit easier after that. But regardless, Neeb ended up fighting some pretty tough people, and as a result, didn't do all that well.
Yeah, he's got a very dominating win ratio. I was looking at his account a little earlier.
It's very good right now.
5 wins, 10 losses or something just this season. Just doesn't really lose very often.
Yeah, playing on quite a lot of online events as well.
Yeah.
Bit of an annoyance there from Neeb. Kellezer says, okay, I'll build it one step to the left, but you don't want to lose your commands. Send as SCV if you can avoid it. Off he goes. Gonna grab a reprint factory. Nothing out of the ordinary here. 1 gate expand here for Neeb. So far, so standard. To be expected from both of these guys, really. Neeb's not much of a cheeser.
No, not really, is he? Pretty solid. Very solid, actually. Just very decisive strategies, but not really cheesy.
No.
Is Kellezer in Korea?
Kellezer is currently in America, I believe.
Oh, okay. In California, then, I guess, right? Because that's where the house is, if he is.
Yeah, I think so, yes. I'm not sure if he's playing from... He may be playing from Brazil at the moment, but I think he is in Cali, yeah. One way or the other. I'm interested to see what he does. Like, I really think he is going to be one of the best foreign Terran. He's going to get there. You know, he's shown so much potential up to this point. He's definitely getting to it.
Right, well, this guy has decided to throw a starport on the other side of the map.
Yeah, interesting. Proxy Liberator, probably. I mean, could be Banshee, but we've definitely seen Proxy Liberator.
Yeah.
It helps you get into position really quickly before there's defense up, so that can be done. Doesn't require a tech lab, which a Banshee does, so that means you can get it out quicker. And of course, as a positional unit, it's very strong. On a map like this, yeah, you could make it work. It's not ideal for it. But we'll see. It might be something else. Tech lab going down, so obviously not. Looks like it will be a Proxy Banshee. God, I haven't seen a Proxy Banshee in a while.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think Neeb has either, unless he's played against this a lot. Because
I don't think he would have.
What type of detection is he going to have? I mean, sure,
he'll have an Oracle.
If he goes for Cloak or not.
Yeah.
But where's the Oracle going to be?
Probably across the map, I'd imagine. So not in a useful position. So far, scouting-wise, Neeb doesn't know enough. You know, he has no idea what starport is. That... What... He has got to have played against that before. Like, he went right for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great pick-off, obviously. Because he can start to adapt now.
Yeah, there's no way he hasn't played against this before then. Like, he went right for that. No one else would have been able to find it for that reason. This is obviously something that Kellezer has done against him before, or has done in a recent tournament, or is maybe something that he's run into on this particular map.
Yeah, and he's got a Phoenix on the way, so he's going to shut this down fairly easily.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you cancel your cloak, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Maybe not. With 1 Oracle, yeah, sure, but if you get 2 Banshees out, and you get the Revelation, or he lands on one thing, then... you could avoid it, but it's going to be tricky to do, since Neeb knows it's there.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to get value from these units now, sadly.
I would think so. Yeah, in the meantime, this Widow Mine just being a little bit annoying. Kellezer actually put 2 Widow Mines, 3 off... Wait a minute, he's got up to 7! Look at this shit.
That's 7 Widow Mines now.
Yeah, he's building a huge amount. That could be a real problem for these Oracles. Like, if he gets caught out of position and goes in the wrong place, he's going to be in huge trouble. A nice big shot off on the Adept, doing a lot of damage there. Banshee on the way. Okay, so we have both those Cloak Banshees up.
Well, I do like the combination between Widow Mines and Banshees, right?
Yeah.
Because they are both taking the energy away from the Oracle to reveal them.
Yeah, and not only that,
observers out.
It's very possible that, an Oracle can die to Widow Mines. That goes down without really being able to do much.
Ooh.
There's a attempted burrow, but he loses them really to nothing, and obviously his other Banshee got shot down as well. So, I mean, he's invested a lot to gain a little. A 3rd base is already up. 3rd base under construction here for Kellezer. Neeb has an air army now, and is starting to build adepts, and there's not much really on the map here for Kellezer. A couple of mines here and there, but there's plenty of detection for that, so I don't think that's really going to benefit him all that much.
Yeah,
So,
he's just going to have to fall back now, really, and start to play this game out into other areas to try to find an advantage. It's definitely not going to be found anymore.
No,
And the high Phoenix count, though, that could be devastating if there's not proper defenses around. If you caught Medivacs, for example, that were trying to drop off anywhere.
Yeah, at the moment I think it's probably because he thinks that Kelazar's continuing to build a lot of mines. You can easily lift them up and kill them before they're able to detonate. So that's proven to be useful. The mines are pretty much cleared out now. There's a few here and there. And it's going to force Neeb to be a bit more careful so he can't just fly around with a big group without paying attention. And of course, you know, these revelations are expensive. You can't keep using them on a single mine. But I'm interested to see where Kel goes from here. It's mostly bio. Still bio mine. There's a good shot goes off. He was hoping to hit the Oracle with it. But the Phoenix will have to suffice.
Yeah, one sad thing here is that the Medivac count's non-existent because the starport's having to fly back.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that healing capability, drop capability.
Yeah.
Just because of the starport being on the other side of the map, kind of a little sad for Kelazar.
It's almost for the best, really, because the Phoenix count is so high at the moment that a couple of Medivacs are going to get picked off really quick. So I don't think that that's going to really be too much of a factor. Kelazar with a nice scan, grabs and eliminates the Widowmine. What's interesting about this is that despite Kelazar investing a lot in an attack that really didn't get a lot done, his economies remain pretty much untouched. And this Phoenix Force could be a very effective harassment tool, but I think Neeb might be even a bit scared about the mines. He's like mostly using it as a giant minesweeping force, which is a very large and expensive minesweeping force, you know?
Yeah, clearing them out, but he has got all of them. He doesn't know if he has done that yet, though.
Yes.
But he is going towards your favorite unit. He's got a lot of adepts.
Yep.
And they do have their upgrade now, too.
And a Robo Bay on the way. Interesting. So, could mean Colossi, but most likely means Disruptor coming out from Neeb. Yep, Neeb loves his Disruptors. And, of course, great way of removing mines. Another way of removing mines. He may go Colossus. You know, it's possible. Especially with all that Phoenix support. You know, good old-fashioned Phoenix Colossi is a good build. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it still works. Still pretty effective. Even with Colossi having been nerfed. Nice pickup there. I mean, Neeb's just able to strip off large units of Marines and just kill them with this Phoenix army. It's working very well. That command center gets cancelled. Let's see if we see any Disruptor or we see a Colossus.
A drop inside the main base. Not effective at all. Triple photon overcharge.
Yeah, nothing
just
getting
cleaned
done
up
with that.
2 full Medivacs. Wow.
Yeah, that was expensive.
Photon overcharge still works well.
Phone overcharge is maybe even better because he can put on pylons. It's very, very good. Very good indeed. So far, we haven't seen either choice from Neeb. He has the Robo, but he's not really building anything else. Now, extended thermal lance. We are seeing Phoenix Colossus.
Oh,
good
wow.
old-fashioned Taiwanese build, that one. Who was it that used to do Phoenix Colossus forever? It's one of the Taiwanese players.
Oh, boy.
That was a while ago.
I remember, was it... Myung-sik used to do it a lot,
yes. Right? Yeah, Myung-sik was one, but there was a Taiwanese player in particular that really loved it. Oh, huge adept warp there. He decides not to go for it. Another mine goes off. These mines are keeping the Protoss player honest, but right now that's a very scary Protoss army. And once you start to add Colossi into it, Kelazar is going to be struggling. Yeah, the only thing that Kelazar currently really has going for him is that those 3 bases have remained uncontested. But that's not going to happen for long because we are seeing a lot of adepts moving up to potentially warp in. Will he cancel? He will. Takes a few supply depots for free. Why not? And now he brings the rest of his adepts into the 3rd and decides not to warp them in, interestingly. Huh. Like he's trying to pull Kelazar out of position. He sees all those mines coming in. Notice how he's sending like 10, but only letting a few finish.
Yeah,
so,
he's essentially wearing down all the Medivac facing too, because these units keep chasing them.
Mm-hmm. That's working well. Proving to be an annoyance, certainly. And behind all of this, of course, Neeb safely establishes the 4th. Harassment has proven to be pretty much useless up to this point. I'd like to see mine drops, maybe, with all of those Phoenixes in the same place. Let's drop some mines instead in the mineral lines and see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, he needs to do something. And the problem is he also hasn't scouted the Colossus at all. Doesn't know to build Vikings, only has 1 starport, is late on his Medivac production overall because of the starport being on the other side of the map. So it's going to be quite a big surprise. And
well, he just scanned it. He knows now. Yeah. Yep. He knows now, but He immediately responds with Liberator and Advanced Ballistics, which is, that's kind of more of a favored way of dealing with it now, because at least, they can shoot down as well, so whereas Vikings, not so much. So, it's a good answer. The question is, can he get enough of them? Because right now, he's getting his economy hit by Adepts, and a 4-base Protoss could totally afford this.
Oh, absolutely. Get rid of those, add more Colossus and other units.
Yep. And Colossi Storm, wow. He's just getting all the tech right now. Surprising not to see Disruptors come out of Neeb, considering how much he likes them. He might not be, I don't know. He's deciding he's going for something else. Got Storm being added in as well. Again, 3 Liberators at a time, so he's got another Starport up, which is good. And that Advanced Ballistics upgrade, it's very, very strong. The problem he's going to have, of course, is that without a Viking screen, this Phoenix Force will just go to town.
Yeah.
But with Advanced Ballistics, they can hang back a bit, so they don't have to get in range. That'll help. Will it help enough? Hard to say. Quick lifts. Oh, big mine hits. That's crucial.
Wow.
Super good. And that Phoenix Force is now no longer a threat. That was a mistake. You got a bit cocky there, got caught in between some mines and some Liberator shots. Suddenly, Kelazur has an ideal position to maybe put an attack together.
Yeah, that
Look at the
wasn't
size of his
there.
army. No, it wasn't. And we've got Fleet Beacon on the way. It looks like he might even be going Carrier or Tempest. This is actually a time when Kelazur could go.
Well, he is moving more actively into the map now. He's got a lot more freedom. Drops can happen a lot easier now because no Phoenixes.
He has the stemmed attack. Kelazur going to try and take out that 5th base. It's going to force a lot of these units to move to defend, and they're, of course, stuck at the Sim City. Big stemmed attack. If Kelazur stims once away, he takes it down. Next is done. He's boosting all the way out. He's even going to go and try and harass with what's left of it. And, of course, the rest of the army is heading up to this base. This is a great 1-2 punch here by Kelazur, and a mistake from Neeb has left an opening for Kelazur to exploit.
I think Storm is ready now, so he's got to be careful.
It is, yep. And here come the Colossi. Oh, my God! Murderous. Category 5 Storms. Doesn't kill the Liberators. That's pretty important, but the bio just took some serious punishment.
Hopefully he can finish the bio off.
He's looking for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah, now he's got the cleanup. There we go. And the Liberators don't do the job against the Colossus, but there's 5 more on the way. So Kelazur's not done. Kelazur has a 4th base up, and he was able to take out a base of his opponent and hit a lot of workers in the process. But the counterattack he now has to deal with. Don't split up, for the love of God. Needs to get his army together. If he fights in dribs and drabs, he's going to lose now.
Yeah, gosh, there's so much left here from Neeb, this army. And there's looking at the army value size for Kelazur, there's really not that much.
No, there isn't. But he does have those Liberators, and they're very, very potent. If he can get a good position on this, create big fields of fire, with the Phoenixes now dead, he should be able to do a pretty good job with that. That's not something you want to attack into.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, Neeb's kind of just looking for an opening, and this is the perfect angle right now. Kelazur's not there. Whether he can get a lot of damage is hard to tell.
Well, more Liberation fields going down. Quick blink out here by Neeb. He knows that, and of course, don't want to, there's 4 Colossi and the Archons. The last thing that he wants to do is get bottled up. The Storm in the mix as well. This is AoE City. Kelazur's kind of got to focus on units that are not going to be so vulnerable to that. 9 Liberators would do it. And there's 5 more on the way, too. That's a huge force. If he can somehow catch the Protoss army with that, it will get decimated by just a few volleys. But he has to get it. There's the warp in. That's going to distract him a little bit. Kelazur's got to make sure he doesn't get caught out. If he can get a good fight here somehow. I mean, forcing the Protoss army into Liberators is difficult, but look at those overlapping fields of fire. That's going to be nasty, and Neeb's army melts under the Liberator fire. Yeah,
I guess Tempest is the way to deal with Liberators.
Yes, and that's exactly what he's doing. Adding 2 more Stargates. He knows, I can't fight this. There's a lot of Liberators, but can Kelazur take this opportunity to do damage? Because those Tempests are going to take a while to come out. Now is a good time to go. His, economy is in a decent shape. He's got some bases. He's got some tech. His upgrades are looking good. Now is the time. Find a base. Kill it. Do something decisive. Don't just amble around like this. Playing defensively right now is not the right call. It's going to give Neeb the time he needs to build the tech to counter this massive Liberator army.
Yeah, it's one thing that Neeb does need to do is kind of pin Kelazor down, not allow him to take a 5th base at all. And this is a great start by grabbing this in the middle while cutting off the resources on the right side with Zealots and High Templar.
Yep.
That's actually pretty smart there to do that. Very needed as well.
Yep, another Zealot run by Guts the mineral line. Nice moves there by Neeb. Like, that's the problem. If with Kelazor playing defensively like this,
yeah,
like, Neeb just gets to do these run-bys, get 6 bases, and then get all the tech he will ever need. Whereas Kelazor can't switch so easily because his economy is not as good. So I want to see Kelazor decisively attack. There's no way... Neeb is not going to walk into those fields. You have to force him to do it. You have to force him to do it by attacking his bases.
That's a lot of Liberators, though.
It's a huge amount.
16 or so.
It will obliterate that army in seconds, but it's a question of can he get them into range and actually do something with them. Right now, he's taking his bio across the map, which is fine. This is an undefended base. He can do a lot with that. So he should be able to take this Nexus out if he focuses correctly. Now, Liberator flag. Oh, nice moves! Does Kelazor have enough firepower to take these out, though, before everything goes down? Look at that. The Liberator's smashing that army.
Wow.
What a move by Kelazor. He baits the army in, smashes it with Liberation Fields, and takes the Nexus. What an excellent play. Now's the time. But the uh-oh, he might have waited too long. Here come the Tempest. Kelazor has to get out of there right now.
Gosh, I was very surprised with how much damage they actually do.
Oh, they do so much.
Woo, those Stalkers disappeared.
Yep, that they did. This would be a great place to set up at a nice choke point. But there's Tempests are a problem. Like, he doesn't have what he needs to take him out. He needs Vikings. This Viking count isn't there. That's going to be a big problem. Oh, oh no! Kelazor missed micros. Loses 3 Liberators for no reason. Ah! That stings. That is really painful.
Those Tempests came out just in the nick of time to stop these.
Yeah, they did. They really did. That's why, if Kelazor had attacked a minute before that, I think Kelazor would have got him. But he waited too long, and Neeb was able to adapt to it.
Ooh, saw a Dark Templar being warped in too.
Yeah, DTs, like, that's going to make expanding even harder. And, I mean, look at it. Kelazor's, like you said, he's not been allowed to take a 5th. Not at all. And it's a big map, but Neeb is so diligent to prevent that from happening. And Neeb lost the base, but he had a lot more than that. So we need to see another, we still have this big Terran army. The economy of Kelazor is basically gone. You have a very large Terran army. You gotta do something with it. Right now, he says, I need Vikings. I need to kill the Tempest. Which is true. But the longer he waits, the worse this is going to get for him.
Ooh.
Looking for a flank.
A lot of Liberators here still.
Yeah, and for some reason, he didn't deploy. I think he was trying to bait out Storm, and he ate it, unfortunately. And some Liberation Zones in decent positions, but... God, those Storms are just too good. They're just too good. And with the Tempest standoff firepower, like, I don't see how you get close to that. If the Storms are out, maybe you can stim in. He tries to dodge. He eats Storm after Storm after Storm. Liberation Zones are down, but there's not much on the ground. It's the Tempests that are the problem now, and he doesn't have the Vikings to kill them off.
Wow.
That's
really
it.
Good game by Neeb.
What a game. GG.
Whew. Neeb's looking unstoppable.
He is looking great. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, nice combination of units, good control, and just like he controls games very well.
He does, yeah.
He control it.
Excellent control. He doesn't make mistakes. Good decision making. Excellent move by Kelazor. Like what he did there, attacking the base, and then ensuring that the opponent basically ran right into a Liberation Zone trap was exactly what he needed to do. But he did it a minute later than he should have. If he'd done it a minute earlier before the Tempest, he would have been able to continue to push, take out more bases. That would have been excellent. But because he waited so long, that unfortunately, with the Tempest out, that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, Tempest's crazy units, especially with the correct support in front of them.
Yep.
Just very, very difficult to reach them, to get to them. And at that point, yeah, you need like you said, Vikings and a combination of units.
That you do. Yeah,
Neeb was one step ahead a lot of the time there.
Neeb pretty much always is, honestly. Yeah. That's the thing about him. That's what puts him above pretty much head and shoulders above most foreign players. That he seems to just understand the game at a higher level. He's a lot smarter. His decision-making is decisive, and it's correct. Hard to deal with. And his control is, of course, very, very, very good. So, there you go. Well, we have one final match, folks, before this ends, where we had a little extended show today. So, we had a couple of people we wanted to include. So, we're giving away, I think it was just an extra $1,000 today in prize money. But Neeb currently on a 2-map streak. Wants to make it 3. Would love to be the king of the hill for next episode, which he will be if he's able to beat his final opponent.
But who is it going to be? Who's the last soldier, the last samurai in today's games? Neeb versus someone. About to find out in a second.
It's a Zerg player.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
We're talking about sort of the big 3 Zerg players. We're talking about the guys that do well in BlizzCon and the foreigners that have the best shot of really making that run. Well, this is the guy that last year made the deepest run against pretty much all odds, I think. It's the one and only Elazer.
Of course it is.
Yep. Good stuff. This is going to be a great match, no doubt. Neeb versus Elazer. I think they have faced a couple of times before. See if that is actually the case. Of course, they have been in the same tournament. They're very competitive in WCS. Elazer currently ranked number 5 non-Korean player. Which is debatable. I'd probably say he's top 3 right now, honestly. His form's really good.
Elazer's very good indeed.
Yeah.
Is definitely a player to do well, I think, at BlizzCon this year. He's a player who has a very hard and very big drive to do well. He had that last year. He has that again this year.
He flew under the radar last year. I think that's not going to happen again simply because of his success. And interestingly enough, we saw him win really on the back of his Zerg versus Zerg. But this time, his current form, his ZVZ is terrible. Compared to everything else, his Zerg vs. Zerg is terrible. His strongest matchup is against Protoss by a pretty significant margin in his current form, at any rate. Now, when it comes to having fought Neeb, well, I'm going to see when the last time he did that was. He actually fought him quite recently in the OSC Masters Cup. 3-2 in favor of Neeb. And he fought him actually in the round before that and lost. He played him in ShoutCraft Kings of August, actually. So last month, we actually had this matchup. And Neeb won that as well. So he's a bit of a nemesis, actually. The last time that Elazer beat him was in the Nidus Open in May of this year. He beat him 2-1. So otherwise, Neeb is on a pretty good tear against Elazer. Let's see if he can change his fortune. The final map of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you hugely for staying with us for so long and enjoying this wonderful day of Starcraft, GSL Super Tournament, followed by ShoutCraft Kings. To the northwest position, our reigning king of the hill. Our potential BlizzCon hope. Our Korean champion. In the Yellow Trunks playing Protoss, it is Neeb. Versus his opponent to the southeast position. In the Red Trunks, playing Zerg. It's Elazer.
Elazer, all these new kids now, top of the game. Elazer, Neeb, Serral. Time.
Yeah, it's damn good to see new blood. It is extremely good to see that. I don't want to see the same old players necessarily. I have my favorites, but it's important for the foreign scene in particular to see these guys rise up and see what they can do. Bring some new styles to the game, some new insight.
It's kind of funny. I think a couple of years ago, these names just weren't at the top, and now they are, all of them.
Yep, that they are. I think we know exactly why, let's be honest. When you remove the Koreans from the equation, it does allow these people to rise where they otherwise may not have. As to how successful that is, well, BlizzCon is usually the acid test for that. As to whether or not we see foreign success this year, the best result, Elazer round of 8 last year, and a couple of foreigners in the round of 16. Can we see that again? Will it happen?
Yeah, we'll see. Well, it's not like it's 1 month away or less.
Yep.
I think.
It is.
Yeah, it's close.
November.
It's
Yep,
very
early
close.
November. And of course, the casting, I believe, starts in late October for the studio stuff.
Yeah, first round.
Yep. Now, currently, Neeb's worst matchup is against Zerg, I believe.
Ah.
Whereas Laser's best is against Protoss. But, like I said, we've seen his recent form against this very same player, and Neeb has won repeatedly. So,
Yeah.
it is worth bearing that in mind maybe more than form at this point. That Neeb knows a Laser, knows how to beat him, and is able to do so on a reliable basis.
Well, the Stargate seems to be a very popular choice of tech tree throughout all Protoss games today.
Well, the question is, are we going to see Disco Inferno again?
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually.
Yep.
Disco
Third hatch.
Inferno.
Third hatch going down. I wonder, like, if against Disco Inferno, you have to, like, delay your third hatch, maybe, and do something else. It's hard. I would have to find a pro Protoss or a pro Zerg player and ask them, look, how do you beat Oracles? And the question is, are we going to see Neeb do it? I mean, it's a strategy I've seen him employ, and I think he actually used it on a Laser last month, if I recall correctly. Yeah, and it beat a Laser into the ground. If I recall correctly, I may be mistaken, but we'll see if we get two more.
He does it.
Yeah, I think he'll need two. Things he hasn't taken 2 more gas yet. I don't know when you have to take the 2 gas in order to make this work, but probably pretty soon. So if he doesn't take it soon, then maybe he's not going for that. He's actually taking a stupidly fast third.
We love it.
4 minutes.
We
Yeah.
love it.
Greedy, greedy, greedy. Neeb using this Oracle defensively right now. And still no gas. So, I don't know, maybe he's faking the whole thing. And the Laser's like, oh god, gotta build a bunch of stuff against potential Disco Inferno, and then it doesn't happen. Lings are gonna move in, they're gonna see an Oracle, but they're gonna see a third.
Yeah, that's good scouting information for a Laser. He pretty much knows everything, from the Stargate, obviously, because he's seen the Oracle, to the third, to the extra gateway that's on the natural. He needs to know what the follow-up's going to be, though. The problem is he's got no overlords in good position. And it's just, well, it depends on what he has planned in his own mind. Like, what is this layer for?
That is a good question. It's a pretty quick one, isn't it? So, let's see. Against Protoss...
Does he want to just attack into that third really fast? Like,
maybe.
Or...
Incidentally, I think this is Disco Inferno because he's following it up with a Void Ray and then 6 gas.
Ooh.
So I think there's 2 Stargates coming in.
Here we go!
Yep,
Disco
there it is.
Inferno.
Yep. So, what do? Well, Hydras,
Yeah.
if you've got enough of them, that's fine. I think you need Infestors. I think you need a fast infestation pit. If you know this is coming, you need Hydra Infestor, and that's how you beat it, surely.
Well, he's not doing himself any favors by losing 9, 10 drones.
No, he is not. His queens were not in position. Usually we see a lot of queens, of course, but if a Laser is rushing tech, which he is, like he's getting Hydras, very early Hydras and muscular augments right off the bat, my concern is that this isn't enough. Like, Hydras on their own shouldn't win this fight. I mean, you're probably telling me you're an idiot, TB. They're anti-air units. Yeah, but they're light. And they don't have a lot of health. And Oracles kill them real quick.
So yeah, Alace is just going to go for it. He'll throw everything. I think he's going to push that creep spread in one direction towards that third. And, you know, there's no evolution chamber. There's no roach warren. There's no real strong economy for him. He's only at 49 drones, remember? So he's just going to go all out for this.
Yep.
In an attempt to finish the game.
I think so. Seems like the way to go. I don't think it's going to work. Like, by the time this arrives, it's going to be 9 Oracles against 13 Hydras. Yeah, and, you know, Adepts on the field, like, he loses, as far as I'm concerned. But I may be wrong. I heard someone in chat was saying that Dark has the strategy is to go fast Spire and get Corruptors. Yeah, I guess that would work, but you'd have to know it was coming. Like, if you go fast Spire and go Corruptors against literally anything else, you lose the game. So, it's a very specific counter to a very specific build.
Oh, well, at least he's expending all his energy in the main base where he can't defend against the Hydras, but the Hydras are coming back anyway.
Yep. And he kills the Hydra Den. At least he doesn't kill it before muscular augments were done. He didn't lose too many workers there, I don't think. But, like, his worker count's been low because he went for fast Hydra anyway. So any worker he loses is still pretty bad. And then he loses 11 on the back of this. This is horrible. I mean, I don't know how you beat it. And I think, yeah, here comes the counterattack. Like, he goes in with all these Hydralisks. Is that enough? Well, all the Oracles are not together. So this is okay, but he's not pushing forward. And as you said, Photon Overcharge. There's the rest of the Oracles coming in as well. And even think about it, look at the economic damage done. Like, if this attack does not work, the Zerg player loses because the Protoss has double their economy. Surely.
Yeah. And he's catching up Oracle versus Hydra is almost at a 1-to-1 count.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem. You know, unless those Oracles are out of energy, they're going to decimate this army.
Disco Inferno. And here's the
here come the Queens.
Too.
Oh god, yeah, they're really good against Hydras as well.
GG, tasteless.
I think it might be, but we'll see. I don't think this is the counter. I don't think it is at all, and I think this loses, but we're about to find out.
That's a lot of Adepts already.
Jesus God. I mean, the Adepts alone would probably kill the Hydras, but...
Oh, here we go.
Well, we're about to find out. The Oracles will come in from the flank. The attack has begun. Up comes the shield. Here they are. And burn, baby, burn! Disco Inferno! As the Hydras melt and Zerg cries into a bucket. GG.
GG.
That is not the answer. No, yes it is. Like you said, I mean, Dark's answer, sure, fast spire. But I don't know. It's really hard to kill, and it works very well, and you can't just kill it with Hydras. Is the answer to that? I think Infestors are key, but certainly haven't seen a good answer yet. And Neeb is able to take another $500 off the back of that. And is the reigning King of the Hill.
3 games.
3 games. Yep.
Yeah.
$1,500. Neeb remains the reigning King of the Hill. We need to stop giving Zerg to him because he's just going to do that. And I don't feel comfortable giving money to people that do that. Oh my. It is just a really, really nasty strategy. And we'll see whether or not it's something that a decent counter can be built for, or whether that's going to require some patching. It might.
Yeah. I haven't seen it very often, and it looks really good.
Yeah, you can see just how devastating it is, you know? The DPS is just so high. Hydras are not good enough. So, we'll see. Maybe somebody gets a, infestation pit. Maybe someone gets Spire.
Yeah. Or 100 Queens.
100 Queens, yes, that will probably do it. You know, the problem with Queens is that then you just, like, avoid the Queens and attack somewhere else. So, I don't know. We'll see. I need to watch apparently it's been used in the Super Tournament and it lost there. So I'll have to see how, I haven't had a chance to watch those games yet. I'll have to see how it was beaten there. Like I say, Dark said it corruptors, but again, you've got to know it's coming. Because if you're not sure it's coming, then it doesn't work. And then if you end up like, I'm going to build some corruptors, and then what if the Protoss player knows you're building corruptors and then just stops? Like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to build that then. I'm going to build ground units and kill you.
Yeah. And the fake out. Build triple Stargate, cancel them.
Yeah, you gotta be sure they're committed and have like at least God, mind games. Oh god, that's a blast from the past. That's gonna sting. Well, congratulations, Neeb, nonetheless. Dirty tactics or not, $1,500. Neeb's gonna become the heel. They're gonna become the villain of this show at this point. He ends up winning like that. But regardless, he will be our King of the Hill next month. November. Probably be late November. Very late November, I'd imagine. After BlizzCon. That'll be interesting, because it's very likely that their big balance changes will happen after BlizzCon. So we might be playing a whole new game by then.
Yeah,
I'm very intrigued. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff on the test map. Whether or not they'll actually go through, that's a mystery. But regardless of that, thank you very much for watching the show, folks. And I'd like to give out big thanks, of course, to Mr. Apollo, coming out of retirement at 5 a.m. to cast this event.
My pleasure to hang out with you, and it was just kind of a super chill morning to do something that I haven't done in a long time, and cast with you. I haven't casted you in ages either. So
yeah, good nostalgia. I enjoyed it a lot. You know, took me back to the good old days when Lord Infesta was a thing and all that kind of stuff.
The 14-hour DreamHack days with only a bottle of water.
Oh, maybe I didn't like that as much as I thought then. Yeah, it's like, do we get catering? No. Can I have some food? Here's a packet of crisps. Now cast for 14 hours for $500 total. Yep. Those were the days.
Help me. No.
No. Oh, God. It was pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. I remember Tastel's got an eye infection in the middle of the show, and it was like, after casting for 16 hours, he was like, what the hell is this? Things have got a little better since then. Let's just put it that way. Oh, my God. Regardless, big thanks to all of our players, of course, and thanks to our admin, Olivia, who is really the only reason this tournament ever works. And I made her job super hard this time, so I'm very apologetic for that. Big thanks to our Korean casting team, that is Ryung and Crank. Also, the French casting team over at O Gaming. Thanks to you for watching. And if you missed anything, well, I'm going to start a rerun. Probably about 10 minutes after this ends, because it usually takes a while for the VOD to process. So we will do a rebroadcast for those who missed it. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you have access to the VODs right now. So instant watching whenever you like, and in a couple of days, the VODs will be available over at youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. That's us done, folks. We'll see you at some point in late November after BlizzCon for another ShoutCraft Kings event. And keep an eye out for the very special Masked Luchador tournament, which should be coming your way sooner rather than later. We're done. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you, Apollo. Enjoy the rest of your... Yes, enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you all next time.